She can't hear you. She's not on the headphones.
Oh, come on. She's a dog. Got great hearing.
Nope, she's had enough already. Like,
Show's over.
She's
Show's
like,
I'm about
over.
to log
You know
off.
what?
Actually, I'm out of here. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna-
Hi, Wombat.
Somebody just asked if I ever landed on the USS Saratoga. Like, how old do people think I am?
What about the moon?
The Saratoga, Gonky? Come on.
In DCS, maybe.
Which one's that one?
It's
An
the
old
one that
one.
was, I don't think was
Is that
ever
McCain?
even in.
No, Saratoga was in Desert Storm 91. It's the carrier that got the MiG kills, I think. Because
91 was a hair before my time.
What were you doing back in 1991? Where were you?
School, sir.
School. Yeah. Sitting in a mechanic shop wondering why I was still sitting in a mechanic shop. I realized my
smoking?
parents.
I think
No.
I think they decommed the Saratoga in the mid 90s, like 95.
Somebody will tell it, but I'll tell you.
1994.
There you
look
go.
at that. Look at so
Yeah.
close.
90
Producer Doug. Hello, Douglas.
Hello, Doug.
Welcome back to
Cool.
the show. We missed
Gentlemen.
So apparently, and I didn't land on an air. When did we do our carrier calls?
2004, I think. Three or four.
So 10 years. I look 10 years. So we're starting the show with somebody thinking I look 10 years older than I am.
It's married life, bro.
Doug, did you get rid of the JD's comment from last week that we forgot?
I did.
That's right.
Yeah. JD, we're sorry we missed it, but it was a funny joke about Skid losing his hair.
Yes. Sorry, man.
Skid is in the chat. So
Yes. Defend yourself.
thank you for everything you've done. However, Kevin says, you do great work, gentlemen. We try.
Thank you.
We do work.
Yes.
Sometimes great, sometimes not. But change, we've got Wombat.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it tonight, dude.
Well, when your two friends are out of guests, you gotta.
We have a very short list, so
Long and distinguished.
As long as I'm at the end of it, I guess. That's awesome.
He's on the long and distinguished list of guests. You know, we don't need guests. Sometimes we can just be us. So you should feel honored.
Oh,
like,
trust me. Mover, honored is exactly how I just described it to my wife. before
I was gonna
walked in
say-
here.
so funny.
That was the
Honey, it's
exact
such
word.
an honor. It's the biggest honor of our week.
That's what I tell my wife every Monday.
Every day.
Every Monday, dude.
She's like, "What do you want to watch on TV tonight now that the kids are asleep?" Oh, I can't, honey. I'm
Yeah.
honored to be a guest on the Mover and Gonky show.
Yeah, I literally had that discussion like 2 minutes ago.
Honored.
Yeah.
So I am honored to be here. Thank you.
Well, hey, Mover. I mean, how's your week been?
Listen, we're not talking about it. That's the
I mean, it's a
it's the
legitimate
mental health. It's the mental health minute. All right. Next. How was your week? My
well,
entire
first of all, it's Monday. How bad could it be?
Oh, we'll get to it, Wombat.
Oh, good.
it's the
Can't
mental
wait.
health minute. It's
jeez.
we're gonna need some time.
Stand
on
by, ladies and gentlemen, for 2 hours from now when we break the
Yeah.
news.
it. And it's not breaking news. It's terrible news. It's
Worth
me being an
waiting.
idiot.
Save the
It's-
best for last.
We're gonna need Wombat guidance.
God.
yeah,
Mental health minute.
Wombat, we need you.
I'm not sure. Okay. All right.
We're gonna need all of the soapboxes today from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go stand on your ready room chair.
No. This might be a different background in 6 months.
Did you
Cool.
just flash a gang sign?
No.
Uh,
We might
looks
we
good.
might be moving
Moving?
podcast locations.
Cool.
what?
Not house locations, but podcast locations.
When?
Might be building that dream detached garage.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
See, so cool things going on, man.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Look what's happened in the
So-
past week. Yeah.
A
no.
lot has happened.
What's up with you, Gonky?
Same. Just will say hi to my father-in-law. He told me he'd be watching tonight. So, yeah, we're thinking about you and look forward to seeing you here around fair time in Ohio. So, which is like beginning fall. So, other than that, man, dude, I did a day of annual tour today. So, you guys are welcome for another day of freedom.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Rushed back here to make the show. So, and then yeah, man.
Yeah.
putting the
Mover told me you weren't going to be here. That's how he got me to come
It
on
was
the
a-
show.
That's how I roll.
Yeah, it's a tweener, man. So there's a pretty bad wreck on 10, so I stopped for quite a while. But yeah, I made it. No, man, doing the summer thing with the kids. Yeah, it's been really good actually, man. We've
Yeah.
had a pretty good week. My son, I mean, Wombat, your kid is basically exactly the same age as my son.
Yeah. I mean, for people who don't know, both of our children are essentially.
We must have the same date night. But anyways.
Yeah, we do.
Anyways, no, he's getting that age where like his coordination's really coming in and stuff. And we're riding dirt bikes this weekend, and like he's just, I mean, the kid, he's flying. And I literally got in front of him and started to scare me, and I yelled at him and told him to slow down. And he just held that sucker wide open. 3 corners later, he's in the dirt. And I'm like, see?
Nice.
Proud dad moment. But at the same time, I'm like, you learn just like I do, kid. Pain. So.
Well, dude, I had a proud dad moment today. My son went to like this camp at the hybrid homeschool that he's going to start, this year.
Yep.
And but my daughter had her doctor's appointment, her checkup, right? I'm sure yours is about the same time since they're essentially born at the same time. So my wife was going to do that. I'm like, hey, I'm not working. I could take our son to this camp. So he's excited because he gets to hop in the truck and we're driving. It's about a 15, 20-minute drive. And we had the coolest conversation about how, and I mean, to the point where like he understood it all too. Like I was blown away, but it was about how you should never let people, no matter who they are, to include myself and his mother, ever take his dreams away. And he was like, okay. And he's like, why would somebody want to take your dreams away? And I go, well, most people try to do it because frankly, they're jealous that you have dreams, that you're trying to accomplish something, right? Or maybe they were too scared to accomplish something. And so we had this whole conversation. He's like, so you're telling me if I want to be a Blue Angel one day, somebody might be like, hey, you shouldn't be a Blue Angel. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure many people. Well, in fact, if you're a Matson, everybody's going to tell you that you can't. And he's like, okay. He goes, so like, is it appropriate if somebody says that to you to just smile and be like, okay, and walk away? I was like, that is a great response and not one that your dad ever did to those people. So it's like, you'll probably be far more successful if you take that approach than what I did. But
well, has he told you yet who he's going to marry?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
How does he feel about cats?
Not a huge fan.
Good
Likes
boy.
dogs.
He's perfect for the Blue Angels. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Likes dogs. So, I saw that story and I love that story.
We're going to talk about that later.
It was a good morning, man.
Good.
Those moments where you're like,
oh yeah, can't get him back.
that was
Yeah.
cool.
It's cool. Proud dad moment.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Doug, how are you, man? Looking back there.
I'm a little slow on the unmute. I'm good.
All right.
Been doing a whole lot of nothing lately.
Oh, well, it's not exactly a bad thing.
Nope.
Got to stop and smell the roses sometime, man.
Dude, and Gonky, we're 2 weeks out.
Did you try to call Gonky Wombat with you being Wombat?
It's the same. I read the screen.
Cat shot brain.
All three of us.
Trust me. Don't feel bad. You won't feel bad when you get.
We
to
were
the
must
mental
be
health minute.
contagious because you have not actually received a cat shot, but you are displaying all
I hang out with
cat
you,
shot
Gonky.
brain.
It's basically the same. It's basically the same.
Oh, I love it.
2 weeks, dude. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
It'll be
same,
fun.
man. It'll be good.
Is
Maybe
that
we
a-
can do some sort of on location thing that Monday. We'll try to get something together.
We got to figure something out.
DCS
That's the
2
way to
weeks?
do it. We could do. I got.
Maintenance 2 weeks.
I mean,
I don't know, dude.
I'm on vacation, so my schedule's wide open. You are just living your normal life, so
Pretty
we gotta
much.
figure that out. But it'll be good. Looking forward to
Okay.
it.
All right. We've got things from the audience because we need that.
Already?
We definitely.
Mover
Definitely,
need.
Actually, you know what? Go buy my book, please. While you're thinking
Shameless
about
plug.
it. Yeah.
I love it.
Please go buy.
Oh,
my book.
dude, I'll shameless plug even more. In that same conversation, my son asked about my books and was like, we were talking about that because it came to like following your dream. And then he's like, we should probably write a book together like Mr. Gonky and his kids did. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, it can't be that hard. I mean, they're short words and pictures, but yeah, I would do that. So what I'm saying is when you're done buying Uber's book, which by the way, did you see that Twitter post that the guy posted with both our books,
Yeah.
Uber? That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Definitely go buy Gonky's books.
Ha, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, Lou says, Mover, a little thanks for a Luna treat. I appreciate the care and concern for Miss Evie in the post by your agency. Yes. Did you see that? Did y'all see that?
No, I missed that. I wanted to click on it and I just remembered it now. You said that was the one where you said you were proud of your dog, right?
Luna, yeah.
Yeah,
she's a hero.
Okay.
For context, y'all need to go. I want people to go to that. I actually could have uploaded it, but I want people to go to their page because I want to increase the views because I think it's awesome. Because finally, Luna's getting the credit that she deserves.
Sure.
Is this the stop you did, Miss Evie? She's oh yeah, and you have to watch. It's if you haven't seen it, it's awesome.
Put a link. Put a link in here.
Doug, could you
right
pull that up if it's possible and put that in the description?
I will track it down.
So anyway, here's the story on that. So a week ago Friday, Luna and I were out on patrol night. And so for those that don't know, I'm a reserve deputy here in the parish. And Luna is the first law enforcement therapy canine in the area, where we got a grant from the National Police Association about 2 years ago. And it's a very new program, which I am wholly responsible for. So it's me trying to mostly figure out the best way to do stuff. And mostly what we do is we go to nursing homes, we go to schools, we do community events, we go to a lot of employee support. Like we'll go hang out with patrol, we'll go to dispatch, especially dispatch. You know, when we had the line of duty death, that's probably where we spent majority of our time because they heard everything that happened on the radio is very traumatic for them. And Luna, as she is an angel, is a rock star. She's awesome at this job. One of the other functions that we do is patrol. So because I'm road certified, I'm just like any other patrol deputy, 100% full up. And so what we'll do is I'll bring her out with me. You know, she sits in the back. We've got a kennel. It's got all the heat alarms and stuff like that. And we'll go do patrol. And a couple times it has come up on either calls for service or traffic stops or welfare checks or whatever, where I have decided that it was both safe and necessary for her to be a part of that. And this video, which has gotten popular, most of them don't, which I'm thankful for this one. We were out that night and it was go home time. Any cop that's listening knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's you. We hadn't had a call for like an hour and a half. And I was like, because we're volunteers, we stay out as long as we want. And I'm like, you know what? It's bedtime. Luna's tired. She's sleeping in the back. I'm ready to go home. It's nighttime. I'm not a night person. And as we're driving home, I turn on to the road before the road to my house. I get behind this line of cars. And as the line of cars kind of scatter, I see this car doing about 5 to 10 miles an hour with no headlights on. So I'm like, oh boy, this is not something you put the blinders on. You gotta go deal with. So I do a traffic stop. I get out with her and she's having car trouble. She's an elderly lady with her friend. They were coming back from bingo and they're having car trouble. The electrical system's fried. It's barely running. All she could do was 5 miles an hour.
Chevy. Got it.
It was a Toyota, I think.
Okay.
But open the hood, it's smoking, all this stuff's happening. And we get her friend to come out to give him a ride because this car is done. There's, it's going to have to somebody's going to have to come get it tomorrow. So while we're there, she's a little bit distraught. And I said, hey, you like dogs? And she's like, yeah. So it's like, you want to pet mine? And she's like, yeah, do you have one? And I said, yeah, I do. That's her whole job. So bring her to the back and she starts petting Luna and, her demeanor suddenly changes and, she's kind of calmed down and stuff. And right at the end of that call, which shows you just kind of how, just the dichotomy of police work, at the very, just before the guy shows up to pick her up, a tone comes out on the radio. And on the video, it stayed in the video, but the legal wouldn't let the rest of the video go because it tones out. And what a tone out means is that there is an emergency call priority of a crime in progress that basically, if you're on the radio, everybody's going to it. It tones out. It's like 400 feet away from where we're standing. So we went from if the rest of the video is me going, hey, I'm really sorry, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
I can't stay here. And
Yeah.
so she's like, no, you've been great. You need to go or whatever. I'm like, I'm so sorry to leave you right here. I see him driving up. I really hope you get this car fixed. I got to go. And, we hop in. Luna's sleeping now. And we're first on scene, stop the next car that's actually a crime in progress and end up on that scene for 2 hours and don't get home till, much later. But it was just, every time I see Luna work, it's special because she does things, she makes people feel at ease in some very critical times, whether it's for the agency, because we'll be out on a patrol and we'll go to calls together, I'll go back somebody or whatever. And then when they park up after, I'll be like, hey, let's get Luna out. And they'll, in between writing reports or whatever, when they're not patrolling, patrol deputies will enjoy, having Luna around. So she's a huge asset. I can't thank the National Police Association enough for sponsoring her training and for, the department for taking a chance, because this was a brand new program. Other agencies in the area have now reached out and are doing the same thing. But it's the reason my goofy face is in the Pentagon, or it used to be in the Profiles in Leadership, was because of what we did with Luna. And just the impact she's had on the community.
That's awesome, because that's a much better reason to be in the Pentagon than mine. But
why are you in the Pentagon?
It's classified. No, that's really cool. I seriously, super cool. I'm a huge dog lover, obviously. You guys know that. I find it interesting, because I don't have a service dog, but I see it, when I work with Wake for Warriors, stuff like that, with the service. But it's a completely different type of training, right? I mean, because Luna's job is to kind of like turn it on for whoever you direct needs that to be turned on for. Whereas like a service dog for an injured veteran is really just there for the one, that's why you see the do not pet, don't, they're there for the individual that they're trained to work with. So I would imagine it's very different.
Well, there's three different types of dogs, if you think about it, in this, what we're talking about. One is your emotional support, which varies from kind of what you're talking about, where they're just there because of PTSD episodes and people that need that. Then there's the other end of that spectrum where people have abused that and they've made dogs that have no training because they can go get the certificate online, and that makes it tough for everybody else. Yeah, those are not considered. There's no ADA protections for those dogs. Then you've got service dogs, and what differentiates a service dog is it has to actually have a function, like a blind, leading the blind, or the diabetic dogs that'll alert when your blood sugar is lower. They have to. It has to be a specific purpose for this individual, not just a broad purpose.
Yeah, ours was originally going to be trained to be an autistic service dog.
Yeah, that's an ADA protected dog. And then you've got working dogs, which, bite dogs, narcotics, therapy dogs. Luna is a working dog. So she's not emotional, because people get that.
Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that.
She's your emotional. Well, she does provide me emotional support, but she's not a service dog, and she's not an emotional support dog. She's a working dog. Interesting.
I wouldn't have guessed that out of the three for what she does. Really, I would.
It's really the legalese of how.
Yeah.
No.
It
works. Anyway,
so she could find drugs in your bag, but also give you all of the kisses, which is awesome.
She could be a narc.
Yeah, well, kind of looks like one when you put the camera on her. I'm not gonna lie.
She's a narc for treats. If you tell her you don't have treats, and it's so funny, treats were not part of her training, but somehow over the last 2 years, she has trained me to give her a treat between every second or third person she deals with. So if we're in a crowd, it's like insert quarters for more time.
Yeah,
she'll go like 1, 2, and then come to me, sit, and look at the pocket that I usually keep the little treats in. And then I'll give her a treat, and she'll turn right back around and go to the next person and do 1, 2, 3, come back to me. And I don't know how she trained me to do that, but
I was going to say, I'm like, that is her training you.
Oh, she 100% trained me.
Really, in summary, it's like you're married.
I'm her treat dealer.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, that's awesome.
Islamic Steak says, Mover saw the video of Luna helping the lady whose car had electric issues. Thank you. And Luna for your service. Give her some extra treats. You know, we're just talking about that. Corvette World Rob says, Wombat is best guest.
I agree, but I'm biased.
Ben says, I took Wombat's chainsaw advice, and now I'm wondering if y'all have any advice on what type of prosthetic leg I should get.
I've got some friends that could hook you up.
Perfect.
Melvin says, most effective ground support in Vietnam was the A1E. Wow. I mean, it's like an A10.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
Sky Raider.
Oh, yeah. So you know how some planes are that way though? Like you know, you just don't know them for their actual.
They're known as exactly.
Yeah, like the F-16 is the Fighting Falcon. Like certain ones are just known. Sorry. He's busy. Look at this.
Renee says, Wombat is on because everything is burning and getting arrested.
It's a rough time to be out in the world right now. It is a
Told you
rough
we
time.
have to cover that.
Stay indoors.
Oh boy.
Thanks.
Richard says, thanks for making my day a little better. Well, you're
Welcome.
welcome, Richard. Are those, what are we looking at?
Fan blades, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
an
Is that
engine of sorts.
what engine, though?
Oh,
big
dude.
one. Or it's a really close picture.
Why are there
Never
so many
believe
of
the
them?
internet.
They're stacked. Joe says, so Gonky is the infamous Wizzo.
Yes.
I don't know. No,
What is an
Never- you have to use-
FWFO?
So
I don't know.
Gonky.
What's
the
WF?
infamous Wizzo.
No, it's not Wizzo. It's WF.
Woofo.
Yeah, woofo.
I don't know, man.
Dude, I believe, like if we were in a different time, like I could see you giving the Top Gun quote, like, "Hey, Wombat, if you get out to your ship and nobody will fly with you, give me a call." Like I could see you. Like for me, I think you would.
I'll sit in the back, drain your essay, be clueless, take cool pictures.
I mean, you've been doing it as my friend for the last 20-some years, so it would be perfect. I mean,
Valid.
yeah,
Valid.
I could see that.
Kendrick says, any thoughts on the Sig Sauer debacle?
I do have a thought on this. What is the Sig Sauer debacle? Because I
So
like Sig Sauer.
someone
what's
got
going on?
shot.
Well, so the M18
I feel like there should be more.
is the
Yes.
P320,
Oh, gosh.
and the P320 has a tendency to just kind of go off, much like your dating life.
So
Wait,
so
the
Wombat,
P320
somebody
Yeah.
in it,
Okay.
M18 in the holster, set it down on the table, gun went off,
Shot the guy in front
shot
of
the
him.
guy.
So an
in front of him.
M18 is a P.
Service
320.
pistol. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Much like the M9 is the Beretta.
gotcha. And it was in a holster, put it down, and it fired.
It
Yes,
fired,
it bump fires. It basically, if you touch it, look at it wrong, it goes off.
It was a fatal incident for
That's
an
right.
Air Force
Really?
personnel.
So the question is,
Oh,
how
yeah.
did this thing even make it into
Military
I
security
own
forces?
a 320 RX.
Do you like it?
I don't mind.
Because I
it.
don't have it. I don't have one of those. That's one of the few.
But the one I have is different. It's much smaller than an M18 and it's much older. So
Huh.
I don't know what delineates when they started having all these
Yeah, I
problems. I
wonder-
did get the trigger update because they did do that like 5 years ago, but I thought they were all fixed. And now all of a sudden we're having problems.
Well, hold on. You said this was a military incident, and let's be honest,
Correct.
we all know that
Yeah.
everything you operate in the military was built by the lowest bidder. So it would
Well-
not surprise me if that update did not get
Well, the update wasn't included in the contract we negotiated
exactly
25 years
Exactly.
ago for this
for,
gun.
for the same reason why in 2008, when I helped take delivery of an E2 Hawkeye brand new from Grumman, it still had ashtrays because it would have cost too much to take them out of the contract. So true story. Like true
yeah,
story.
dude, I
So,
know. I know. This is how the government operates. Gotcha. And I'm just kidding.
So if that was an issue, Mover, like that, I mean, I'm not, obviously I just learned about all of this and I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad that Kenrick paid the money to get it up because I'm like, hey, I like Sig. What's the debacle? But I'm not very familiar with that particular one, but that's a shame that somebody lost their
died.
life. Yeah. Sheesh. If that's because of poor government contracting, that's
Never
bad.
happened.
Yeah, that's true. Wouldn't be the first time, unfortunately. That's a bummer.
Okay.
So
Joe says Wombat's Pentagon connection involves UFOs.
We're getting
all
there.
right. Well, this will be a short show for me. So
That's
thanks
at the
for-
end of this. All right, let's get to what everybody. Let's get the people what they want. So in Spain, an FA-18. Huh? What?
Put the question up, Mover. Somebody asked about it. Might as well answer it now.
Oh,
the
You see
legacy, if you will.
Where?
I saw it pop up. Yeah.
you have control too.
I don't know. Doug, did you
Oh.
see it? There it is.
Aggressor says, any thoughts on Spanish F-18 demo close call?
Good segue.
Yes.
It's not a segue if you interrupt my segue.
Sorry.
So there's
Should
an
be
F-18 close.
Charlie.
Y'all done? Can I?
No.
You know
no,
what,
we're
Gonky?
not.
Sure. Go ahead, sure. You do it because you're going to have to pronounce the name of this place. And I don't want
All right, Doug, roll the tape. Dude, we've got a couple different views.
Do they all have sound? Because it's amazing.
Yeah, Spain, beach. Here we go. Hornet rolling up on a wing. Oh, dude, maybe upside down. Scoops it out right in front of the crowd.
Beautiful. Love
Listen
the
to-
paint scheme too.
Listen to
Freedom.
the General Electrics.
Love it. I love that.
Do they
paint
have the
scheme.
404s?
I don't know if they have the
Somebody-
big motors. or not. Yeah. All right, Doug. Do we have the back?
Yeah, we got the aft angle that we have to see.
Yeah.
the from the rear, so to speak. Here we go. We can make it as large as possible, so to speak. Here he comes again, different view. He starts to roll over, decides nope, and then scoops it out. And I think he probably, it's a short clip, but he probably goes home. This is my
For a
guess.
change of flight suit and
That is the sound of freedom. Turning dead dinosaurs into hot air. I love it.
Gonky.
Beautiful, dude.
You were
All
an
the alphas.
FA-18 demo pilot. Give us your
Yes.
professional opinion.
Opinion. Well, when I first saw that video from the front view, like the first video we showed, it struck me as odd that he put in a whole boot of rudder. As he started that, I think he was trying to do an aileron roll, and then all of a sudden he stops and he just puts in a giant boot of rudder. Because I was a demo guy, and even just regular flying the Hornet, you put your feet on the floor. Don't touch the rudders.
Yeah.
Correct.
Those,
Don't
those are
touch
for ground only.
Don't touch the rudders. And if you want the airplane to roll, even at slow speed, whereas conventional airplanes, you would use rudder, you would use the stick, and the flight control computers would figure it out for you. So Mover and I were on my way home. We chatted about this a little bit. And I know the question of birds has been brought up, and I haven't seen it yet, but apparently in one of the videos you can see some
The one we just watched.
Yeah. It's hard. You got to
Doug,
see
do you
it.
have
There's-
you have a better fidelity? Well, there is a link to one of the better fidelity ones in
Yeah.
there.
It's hard to see, but
Better
you know,
find
being stuck in traffic for a while, thinking about this, I'm not sure that that birds would be a reason to do something like this. Only because I think pretty much any self-respecting fighter pilot would know that, dude. I mean,
Just hit the birds.
just hit the birds, man. I mean, I've hit birds. Last week we talked about a bird I hit. Oh yeah, there's
Yeah,
some
see 'em.
birds.
And the
So-
birds predate the maneuver.
Right.
Like there's
Well,
already he's not maneuvering here.
No, but go ahead. Finish up, Gonky, and then I have a thought on that.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, dude, I'm kind of thinking no birds. Two things stand out to me. One is I think that he started his aileron roll or maneuver, loaded roll, whatever he was going to do. And, the velocity vector, when he looked back in the cockpit, was showing well below the horizon, because even though the Hornet is fly-by-wire, trims to 1G, if you're flying along a level flight with autopilot off and you do an aileron roll, the velocity vector will track towards the ground a little bit, not as much as like a conventional airplane. So I'm thinking either that happened. He was like, he came out of he got his eyes back in the HUD and realized, hey man, I'm actually pointed nose low, because he's not that high to start this maneuver. And then did his escape, and then play it right here really quick. Doug? Okay, so that he also does. So he also does a really aggressive negative G maneuver. Okay, so when I was on the team, one of the guys actually almost mortared himself because when he in the Super Hornet demo, one of the things they would do on takeoff is they would do a roll, and during the roll they would clean the airplane up. And what he did, which is what I kind of think this guy's doing, the airplane rolls more crisply is the word, maybe, or sharply when it's unloaded. But what my buddy found out was when he unloaded and rolled, and they share the flight control system. When he unloaded and rolled, the flight control computers were like, no, dude, if we do that at this speed and this, these parameters, you are going to go OCF and die. So it didn't let him do it. So he had the inputs in to he was inverted. He had the inputs in to roll while he was pushing negative G, but the airplane stopped rolling because it determined, no, dude, we're in a departure envelope here if I let you do this. And
that's the rudder.
Right. That's exactly. So what my buddy had to do, and he was like really close to the ground. He said as soon as he relaxed the stick, got the negative G off the airplane rolled. And so, of course, there was a little investigation. We found out that was the flight control computers were doing what they're doing. So, that's a pretty aggressive negative G maneuver that he does here. And then, like you said, Mover, I think the plane starts to roll, and then it's like, and then he freaks out for a second and kicks the rudder, right? Like, okay, that's not working. Let's do this.
Yeah. What else you got?
Exactly.
Pointed at the crowd.
Correct.
He sees himself like the velocity vector right now is like on these people.
Oh yeah.
And the buildings
yes.
behind the people. Because if you look at the other view, it's not like it's just, you're not just going to make pink mist. You're going to take out buildings and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he saw that, kicked in the rudder to try to get the nose, tracking above the horizon. And somewhere in there, he probably realized or accidentally or whatever, relax the stick, get positive G back on the airplane. And then the airplane started flying again. Either way, super scary because obviously, man, he's pointed at a lot of people and a lot of real estate, and that could have been really bad. Hey, he got him, he was in a bad situation and he was able to get out of it. So I mean, thankfully that's what happened. I mean, those are the two scenarios I kind of see is he just lost SA doing his roll, or I think he got kind of trapped in that negative G, try to roll, flight control say no. But that's just what I think. How about you, Wombat? What do you think?
So I kind of agree. Mover and I were messaging about this a little bit. And if you look, because I mean, obviously I watched this like 100 times because my God, that is awesome legacy Hornet. I mean, dude, like, I'm sorry. Anybody that's like, oh, Hornets, this Super Hornet's better. Dude, no, that is all of the alphas that you could put. That's all of the thrust to weight ratio. Like,
hey, it's slick too, dude.
If that was a 2-seat Foxtrot model, we're talking about a different animal right now. I'm sorry. Like, that is why it's a legacy Hornet vice a Super Hornet. And legacy is much better. Even my son knows that, right?
Legendary.
So I watch this a lot, and I think what you'll see, and I agree with both of you, I think there was birds. He reacted to the birds, right? And it wasn't just one bird. I understand what you're saying. Like, because trust me, I've hit a bird or 12 in my day. Like, that's not, but when you see a flock of them go down, right? Now you're thinking like, because remember, as a demo pilot, which I never was, but I'm sure that, Gonky, you can think to this, especially with crowds that close. It's one thing to suck birds and be like, I got to pull up into a big thing. Dude, if that plane loses all its thrust, it's done. Like, those people are all dead, right? So, and I guarantee you that's on his mind. I guarantee it. Back in the brain, not cat shot brain, it's back there, right? So when he sees these birds, he's aborting his maneuver at that point, I think. He's in a save the jet, get out of there maneuver. And then I go into what you said, Gonky, about how now he is not, because I've talked to demo pilots. Obviously, you and I have talked about the shows. I know Blue Angels. I've listened to Mace. Like, the reason they can do what they do at the jet is because they do it the exact same way every time, and they practice to that. And that's why when you get these haters that are like, oh, Franz almost killed people on the pier, it's like, no, he didn't. He knew exactly, because he's practiced that a million times from a much higher altitude. and they work it down. And I mean, it's unbelievable. That's how demos look so good. The problem comes when you're used to flying that demo and now you're in a reactionary thing, which he's in down low, right? Now you're in that position of like, I got to save the jet and these people, not necessarily in that order. And the plane's not reacting the way I expect it to. And you watch them at air shows. I mean, they'll sit there, even civilian air show pilots, they're sitting there with their eyes closed. They're walking through, they're doing kind of the physical walkthrough of what, they've recorded the Blue Angels doing. And they're like, these guys and girls are very mental. So when things start not going right, that's where I think you see things like the rudder and potentially the roll issue. And then it just becomes a get the lift vector up and just max perform that jet. And it is beautiful that he did it. I think it's awesome that he did it. He saved himself, but more importantly, a lot of lives. And I, forget even why he got in this position, which I don't think is a fault of his, just from what I've seen on videos. The fact that he didn't just shell out, right? I mean, look at the sight picture he's looking at, right? When go back just a little bit, Doug, when he's inverted and nose low, right? I mean, he is like, stop it right there. And even more so, right? He's nose low. The plane's not reacting the way he wants. His velocity vector is looking at a whole lot of stuff it shouldn't be. There's a lot of pilots that get that plane right side up and punch, right? And he didn't. He stuck with it. And we've seen this, Gonky, and we've lost friends who, frankly, have stayed with planes they shouldn't have. But he made a choice right there, conscious or subconscious, that he was going to ride that thing into the crash to try to get it away from the people. And he got it away from the people. And that, I mean, right there, he could have punched and survived. Right there, guaranteed. And and that plane would have gone in, but he didn't. And I commend that. That's,
I mean, you bring up a good point about the people. In the US, I mean, I only did the demo thing for a year, and we, like I said, we had the accident, so the season was super short. But in the US, generally, they never let you do any kind of maneuver pointing towards a crowd like that. Yeah, it's always 90 out. But I mean, I know stuff happens, but
sure.
But yeah.
Well, dude, and think of the other distraction, Gonky, as a demo pilot. That's pointed at people. That's a Spanish beach, my friend. There's not a female top on that beach. Well, I mean, so as he's looking through that HUD, think of the people he's seeing on the other side.
Target fixation. Is this where you're going?
That's distracting enough right there for the best of us.
Mover is not a Spanish demo pilot.
Right, Mover? Was this? Yeah. Well, Mover, what do you think, man?
Doug, go back to the other one, the aft view, if you could. That one. Okay, stop. Back it up.
Stop tape.
Here's the thing I don't understand. I guess I was reading the chat. The Spanish official thing is he was avoiding birds. If these are the birds, this is way late, right? Anything after this, if you're avoiding birds, is roll wings, level, and pull. You're going to do a root abort. Like if that was really the thing, you're not going inverted. If you thought that birds were the issue right here, stop. You never did this part. You did a wings level to the left, away from the crowd, and a root abort, root escape, safe escape maneuver, whatever you want to call it, from the ground, max alpha. I just can't. The bird thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, yes, there's birds in this video, but I think what Gonky said, and I've learned something having listened to Gonky for the first time, which I'm very proud of. Just kidding, Gonky. I love you. But I mean, from the moment I saw this, I'm like, this looks like an aborted, like a dish out. And I kind of thought that it was, hey, he was rolling inverted or knife edge and trying to hold it because you can see the push. You can kind of see the nose push a little bit, and then was like, nope, and then rolled out of it. And then once he did that, it was just a save. It's a deck save at that point. I agree with you, Wombat, dude. If this is any other airplane, this is a much different story. This is all the thrust, all the alpha, everything that jet could give him. Good on him, but I think there's probably a debrief here.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Oh, yeah. Birds or not, whatever the reason is, there's a debrief here.
I don't disagree. And I think the other thing to the birds too, right? It's very easy to see the ones right there because they're up against the sky. You don't know if there's birds down low. You don't. So, and that's what I messaged you too, is like, I'm not going to sit here and say, because we're looking at this from a third person outside, right? Like, he saw something in his HUD. For all you know, he sneezed right before this maneuver and it's a booger on his HUD. Like, it doesn't matter. He's reacting to something in the moment, going whatever speed he's going, very low to the water. He's obviously an accomplished pilot, or else he would not be their demo pilot. I'm sure of that, right? I mean, so in his brain, in somebody that I've got to believe is capable, we do see other birds. Maybe there's something else you're just not going to see from that perspective. And again, if that's the case,
take the birds, man.
Yeah, take the.
Well, and I'm not. Again, I'm not.
I think anybody take the birds.
I'm not disagreeing, but again, you just don't know the whole picture of what else was going on. Because you're seeing it from this perspective. So
we're seeing it from this perspective, and
agreed. But and you see more birds down by the beach there. So it's obviously there's stuff around, right?
How fast do you think he's going, dude? I bet he's doing under 250 knots.
I don't think he's going very fast right there, but you could see when he adds the power, because it dumps out all the black smoke.
Only reason mover is because he is able to achieve the high alpha, right?
Yeah, I was going to say 300.
I mean, that to me looks.
I bet he's
he is. He is listening to a beautiful tone right there.
It's a hearing test at this point, because he's
but I mean, and it's been a minute, but like, I agree with you on the 300 for the high alpha. But would that change being a completely slicked full burner low?
I think he'd be even slower to get, because just the visual performance of the airplane tells me it doesn't have a ton of energy on it.
Because it would climb fast, right?
No, he's not fast. Because like right here, it's starting to mush, right? So I mean, you're under 200. So
good on him.
It's
saving it, dude. I mean,
I'm glad that we can have a joke about it and talk about topless beach and stuff like that, and we're not talking about a tragedy here, because it could have been very close to that.
Gonky, as a demo guy, I know you're not rolling. I know you're not doing them. You weren't doing these maneuvers pointed toward the crowd, but looking at it from this angle, would there be any consideration to rolling away from the crowd?
Yeah, that's the other thing that was a little weird to me. No matter where I went, Malaysia, Air Force, Navy, nobody likes to roll to the right. Everyone likes rolling.
I just mean the crowd. The people are there.
That too. Yeah. Well, I mean, it really doesn't matter which way you roll. It's your trajectory.
Yeah, because he's pointed. These people here are like on a hill.
Yeah.
But I mean, that whole beach is
around
really
the hill.
If you look, I mean, if we could God's eye view this thing, I think it's forming kind of an L shape, right? So these people on the hill, like, then there's an angle, and then there's the beach. So I think he was trying to get it tight for the people here taking a picture. Then whatever happened here, and from that point, from when he went semi-inverted, I think his trajectory his trajectory was not part of the plan.
So could it be? I mean, could it be a roll push to get away from what he thought he was going to hit, and then dish out? I mean, could that whole maneuver?
It could have been and then it gets into what Gonky was saying about the push is you lose the turn, right? Because you're now negative. And then if the jet's not giving him what he thought it was going to be, that could delay the dish out. I mean,
I could see that. I just don't agree with.
He's picking. So, I mean, he's picking the nose up here for an aileron roll, right? But then, like, for whatever reason,
watch the nose go back. Watch the nose. Can you frame by frame? No, you got to use your right, whatever the period key.
Oh, look at you with the debrief tips. I didn't know that.
Doesn't work.
Well, I mean, I guess anything's possible.
Watch this. Watch that. Watch the nose. He pushes right here.
Right.
He pushes with the rudder.
Well, first he pushes with the nose.
Yeah, but then
he does the rudder because it stops rolling.
Yeah.
The whole push piece, man, is that whole. I mean, he shoved the stick too far forward.
Yeah. He was reacting at that point, right? I mean, that's the. Yeah. I mean, at that point, like I said, it goes back to the demo pilots and how demo pilots are trained. They're trained to be very specific in their maneuvers and their rates and everything. And
you're all goes off. The crazy thing is, you're you're in the now the aerobatic stuff that I did was always in conjunction with the warbird. So a lot of times I was always looking at the warbird and calculating timing, not so much looking outside for birds. I think I could have hit birds and not even realize it, to be honest. But in this case here, being by yourself, a mover, it's a head scratcher on like he started a good roll. And then after 90, it's like, dude, what happened?
Something happened.
Yeah.
I can't imagine somebody, you're in a very vulnerable position and you're like, I don't want to hit that 5-pound bird. Like, dude.
Yeah.
And again,
I mean,
that's why I've got to believe there's something.
we
we're not
just
seeing
saw
that
a
he's trying to-
Eurofighter, which by the way, I was wrong. Scarf corrected me. They were doing 5 bills plus.
Yeah.
Went through the canopy, scared the crap out of the dude, literally, probably. But it's not a like,
Dude, that was
jet's gonna keep
that was-
flying.
That was a Spanish Typhoon too, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah,
Well, this
catch
jet's
up
going
there.
to keep flying. It's doing great.
Well, it almost did.
Yeah.
Almost
I
doesn't
don't know.
count.
I don't know, dude. Watching it, I kind of think he because if memory serves, this is really digging, but I'm pretty sure negative rolls more than 360 degrees are prohibited, something like that.
Yeah.
But
That's
that's
if you read
probably-
the book. For
that's
nerds.
if you read the book. If you're a nerd, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to
Tops
find-
is a crutch for a weak stick.
Yeah,
Right?
I usually do the prohibitive maneuver and then read about it later. That's a joke.
It's not,
Allegedly.
though.
It's not.
That was like when I
Rocky,
did my first
negative
Hornet
jinx.
solo.
That's right.
My first Hornet solo at 106, right? Where you get to go finally. I mean, it's only 5 flights into the syllabus. And they had a like a laminated thing, and they probably had it on the West Coast too, of like all the maneuvers you couldn't do as a solo. And I pulled out my phone and took a picture, and the SDO was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, this is my mission card. Just gotta make sure I check them all off." But like, you could tell he was like,
Are you joking, bro?
"I'm not sure if you're kidding or not." And I was like, "Dude, I've been on 3 deployments at this point. Like, I don't know how long they're gonna let me fly this thing. I am gonna fly the wings off on every flight. I shouldn't even be here." So anyway, that is, again, happy that it was
Yeah.
a positive outcome, except for the birds.
All right. Stephen Billings says this Saturday and Sunday I went out to a kite festival with travel both ways, and time at it I was awake in one go for 39 hours. To all three,
Whoa.
what's the longest you've been awake in one go?
Dude.
Sear
Over
school, probably
24
right?
hours. Yeah.
Sear school was longer than that.
Probably about 36 hours. I think I was awake for a day and a half in Sear before I finally took a little nap.
Passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sear. I'd imagine Sear's probably the
That's a long
longest.
39 hours, is a long time, man.
That's a long time.
Start to go cuckoo.
Warhorse 500 says I would offer that the best ground support in Vietnam was the B-26 counter invader. B-26K.
I don't know if they had B-26s in Nam. That's digging. That's even before Saratoga. I don't know.
Stu Ballman says tonight's the
Ew.
night I finally paid a watch. Cheap pilot is a redundant statement.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I follow his call signs, like his username's like KC10 Wrangler. And he's a captain for one of the big airlines, right?
Nice.
On
Good
730.
for him. That's quite a prestigious job.
He really is. Well, as a prestigious captain who's making probably a lot of money, he's like praying to the non-rev gods that we make this flight. And I'm like, bro, you are a legacy captain. Buy the damn ticket and shut up.
Oh, I could one up it.
So cheap.
on
Why?
an alleged company Facebook group. We had a pilot recently say that his daughter was getting close to flight training and was soliciting for anybody that had a in good condition free headset to give her. The memes from that were amazing. Amazing. And I'll even one up at one more for how cheap pilots are. Just today, breaking news, we had one. You guys you have, I'm sure, whatever you call it, but you have online training every quarter, right?
Mhm.
Whatever it's called. It's like an hour, 2 hours of pay, whatever the heck it is, right?
Not
this guy's-
Gonky's airline.
Well,
He has to pay them. He has to insert quarters into his iPad to get it to play.
This guy posts to our, again, company Facebook page and asks if anybody knows what the runtime is for pay, because he doesn't have to take it because he's retiring. But if it's worth his time for the pay, he'll do it.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, dude, guys, I'm going to put it out here to the internet. If I'm ever within the month of retirement and I ever ask any of you, like, hey, do you think I should maybe post, like, if it's worth doing the training for an extra hour and a half that I don't have to do just to get an extra hour and a half of pay, you can do whatever you want. Take no prisoners. That's like, are you kidding? Like,
you should let this
reply
you should
and just be like, enjoy retirement. Age 67 isn't happening this month. Send. That's what I wanted to post, but I didn't.
He probably doesn't know people can screenshot that. Get him in
They take a
trouble.
People
picture.
have.
He takes his second flip phone and takes a picture of the screen with his other.
He's got one on each side of his braided belt.
Hey, speaking of awesome captains, you know who that is?
Oh, sir. Tighten it up, boys. That's right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, standing attention here.
Here we go.
Well done, Luna.
Right.
The big giveaway, other than the big girl in the picture, was the reef. Well done, Luna. Take her to the reef for a treat. Rumor is the crab cake and flounder is amazing. She'll love it.
It's not a rumor.
It's awesome. We love.
That's
Colonel. Hey, but he's been on the show. We can say his
He's
name.
been on the
Colonel
show.
Mattingly.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah,
The
he's
gr-
not
the greatest
incognito.
tanker pilot we've.
Greatest C-17/tanker/
That's right.
deputy commander / wing commander / back to deputy commander /
That's a lot of jobs to only throw out 1999, and
Oh yeah.
I feel like could have been more. But anyway,
DP Gunnett would like to know, how do you explain to a 4-year-old why Maverick was upside down doing foreign relations? You know, the finger.
he was saying that they were number one.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yes.
Yeah, you
you
probably
don't.
shouldn't let a
just
4-year-old
don't.
watch Top Gun. This is what it is. But
You
Yeah.
skip that part.
yeah,
Yeah, my son. He's seen parts of Top
parts
Gun.
of it.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
same.
Yeah.
He
haven't.
wants to see the whole thing. He's
Oh,
like, Dad, I can't wait.
Turn it off and
awesome.
show him Firebirds.
Mm,
Make him a helicopter guy.
yeah.
Yeah, Mom, I need your pantyhose. It's like, oh no.
I need a stick and your panties, Mom.
That's right, dude. Oh no.
Red. Red. Do you have them in red? Oh boy.
That's funny.
Explains a lot from my childhood, actually. Corey says, watching in flight from JFK to Nashville, got to see the Tomcat on board the Intrepid. Tomcats.
Cats.
That's a great museum.
Awesome.
So I grew up around. Love that museum. Midway's awesome too.
Richard
Richard, wow,
says,
thank you.
golly, thanks, Richard. Someday you should do a
Love
live
it.
react to SR-71 pilot Brian Chul's story title LA Speed Check.
I love that story.
Some
That
things are
story.
better left unruined.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is a
because
great. It's a great story.
You get into it and you're like, sure.
It's a great
Yeah.
story.
Great
It's a great
story.
What
There's
is-
always a good story.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Not 10%. He was in an SR-71 probably.
correct.
Probably.
Oh, hey. Dude, he saw it live. George says, talk about the
Oh,
F-18
wow.
Hornet.
Wow.
He saw it live at the beach.
And he said
Wow.
they were avoiding birds, mover.
Well, he said that because that's what they said. Our expert
Wow.
analysis says,
That he was
Plausible.
avoiding birds.
but maybe not probable.
Yeah. We probably will never see anything official, but
Oh, no. The
Hey.
official was they were avoiding birds.
hey, hey, dude, he scooped it out, lived and fly
Mm-hmm.
another day. Good job.
Bingo.
And when
Bingo.
nothing happens after the fact, you can get away with that.
Yeah,
You think he paddled?
No,
that's a good question. I don't think
I
he
want to
did.
know if he paddled.
it's too slow.
I don't-
You don't need to.
I don't think he did. Just by watching the airplane, I've seen that.
What would it have
performance
done if he
many
paddled?
times.
Nothing.
Anything?
Nothing, because he didn't have.
He
He
didn't have
wouldn't
enough
have
speed
speed
to do it.
available. Yeah,
Full
Well, it
Jeez.
was like when I almost smacked the ground in Fallon.
but you were
going
doing.
fast.
You were going really fast.
I was, but I still didn't paddle. So it's funny that like
Oh.
the
Oh,
paddle
yeah.
has become infamous in the Hornet. you know, especially now with Top Gun Maverick. But
It's
real
because we don't
pilots
train
don't
to
ever
it.
hit the battle.
We don't train. We don't train to it, man.
No.
So it's not in
Not
my-
even in the sim. I don't ever
No.
remember like intentionally practicing
no.
the
Well,
paddle.
and it's not an easy, like
No.
for me, you would have to literally have both hands on the stick to do it, because where your normal hand is flying, it's further. Like you're not gonna, you know what I'm saying?
It's like
it's just not intuitive.
That's the instant meeting with the skipper button. Like, don't touch
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
just don't
OG's
touch
doorbell. It's like the
Yeah.
OG's doorbell.
Yeah, don't touch that. So, that extends your day.
I would rather hit the ground than have to get
Die.
the skipper for overGing the Hornet, because at
Correct.
least I might die a hero. Yeah.
Correct.
Hawkeye says that was a great video. You could tell that lady really appreciated Miss Deputy Luna Bell was there.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rigoro says better than movie night.
Nice bike. That'd be what? He had a nice.
Wayne P says for the Luna Treat Fund from a former LE canine handler. Strong work, Luna. Mover, you're okay too. I will, for the record, Luna does not consider herself canine. No, wait, sorry. People do not consider. No, sorry. Canine does not consider. Sorry, we're not going to talk about it. Dude.
Next. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Janitor's back. Spanish F-18 pilot. Queso habanero. I don't. What is he saying?
Hustlo.
I Google translated. It said, I want to do it.
Okay.
I wanted to do
Fair
it.
enough.
Hey, Gonky. This
Sir.
one's for you, bud.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude, buckle up.
Kim Jong-un,
Yes.
Rocket Man Extraordinaire says, I miss Gonky. Would be easier for modern pilots to fly F-18 or P-38. How much has technology taken skill out of flying?
Yeah.
That's a
Well, sir, I'm pretty confident it takes more actual pilot skill to fly a P-38.
Are you confident in that? Yeah.
Dude, you know what I finished this week? Was Masters of the Air on Apple TV. Both the
Is it
show and
good?
then the documentary. Oh my God.
Really? Is it
The
good?
CGI is a little but the actual story, it humbles you because you're like, I will never be this generation of people.
Yeah.
Like, this is the greatest generation of badasses.
Yeah, we're soft. We're soft.
There's just no chance.
But hold
No
on.
way.
We may be soft compared to them. The good news is the ones coming up making us look pretty solid.
yeah.
It's a cycle.
Mover. So wait,
you
you,
raised them though.
you said you watched
Not mine.
what are the two? There's two different series you watched about.
So it's Masters of the Air.
That's the okay.
That's
That's
the
GTI
show.
Yeah.
And then they did like the Bloody 100th, which is a documentary for you to watch after the show that goes through like it's like a documentary of the real unit and what the real people actually did. And
is it a
what- how they-
series? The documentary, is it a series or is it just like an hour show?
One
Okay.
hour show. And then the Masters of the Air is like 9 episodes, 10
God, I have
episodes.
to watch it. I've
Oh,
seen
yeah,
some
it's
clips,
incredible.
but
It's incredible, man.
yeah.
It's pretty good. And then Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man Extraordinaire, also says birds aren't real, but Gonky being number one is.
True.
Thank you. I
Dude, you are
appreciate
the
that.
new Dennis Rodman
Without the tats, man. I ain't got no tats. So.
for now.
Well, not according to
Or
your long-sleeve
money. I
shirt.
don't have Rodman's money either. So
I'm
for
pretty
now.
sure he spent it all.
other than that, we're pretty much the same.
Rob says, Mover, you should watch Adam 12, especially the episode they filmed with LAPD's Air Unit. Basically, a documentary would make for a good video. Love you guys. Oh, okay.
Cool.
And then Thomas Kozak. Maybe he had a picture of his wife and kid in the cockpit. Tomcats, welcome back, Walmart.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, dude.
Wife and kids almost orphaned today. I've never even seen him.
He was close.
Or he was comparing the picture of his wife to what was on the beach.
He's
I
trying to
choose
get there
life.
quicker.
I choose life.
Something may have caught his eye. Correct.
Yeah,
I
I
bet you're
bet.
onto something. Target fixation.
We're only human.
Mm-hmm.
Janitor's back. Wouldn't it happen if all air demos were with E2 Hawkeyes?
It's true. Joke as you will, the E2 could do some crazy stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
What logic would the E2 go into? in
There's
that
no logic in
situation?
the E2. That's the thing. It's built with no logic at all. There's zero logic in an E2. Dude, it's a
that's
plane.
kind of awesome. That's kind of
Yeah.
awesome.
It's a
Yeah.
plane where the windshield wipers are hydraulically operated. Okay. The windshield wipers are operated by a hydraulic system at 3,000 psi.
That's awesome. So if you lose your hides in a storm, you also can't see.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And the actuator for the hydraulics is right above the rudder pedals, which I learned at the RAG because the RAG instructor, it was pouring. He's like, let me turn these on a little bit. And nobody ever turns the windshield wipers on the Hawkeye. And when he did, we heard a pop. They went, oh. And then my feet slipped off the rudder pedals.
Your boots got wet with hide fluid.
Yeah. Yes. And like 25 gallons flowed out that actuator down the hallway. And I'm like, are we not going flying tonight? And he's like, no.
Grumman Ironworks.
Grumman. But you can land it on the nose wheel on the ship multiple times and she'll keep taking it.
I'd like to interrupt your story with another topic.
Hit it.
Southwest Airlines, Hawker Hunter, TCAS RA.
This was.
That's all we have, apparently. Oh, we got a video.
I have a theory.
Nice.
Nice.
How far was that?
How
many units of measurement?
8,000. Hold on.
8,000.
Stuff's moving too fast.
Yeah, 8,748 lateral, 1,000. So what is that? A mile? A little over a mile and 1,000 feet?
Well, let it get closer, right? It
says it on the screen. Watch. Somebody.
Oh.
Right there.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So the story is,
why would anybody fill out the 7.3? It's a good question.
Well, that's a great question. On departure from, where are they in? John Wayne, Orange County, one of those two? At the same place? I don't remember. I hated going to California. Anyway, on departure, TCAS RA resulted in quote unquote passengers hitting their head on the ceiling. A flight attendant was injured.
That sucks.
They complied with the RA and then continued on their merry way. They were talking to LA ARTCC and it became news because one of the famous Twitterers was on that and said that he also hit his head. And my question, first of all, does no one listen to safety briefings? Because they're pretty sure they tell you, unless you're going to the lab, which is the lavatory, which is the toilet where you do your number 1, number 2.
Please just do number 1. Please.
Just keep your seatbelt on.
Yes.
Keep your seatbelt on, tight across your lap, because it's a lap belt. And if you have to have an extender, keep them both tight. But you won't hit your head on the ceiling for stuff like this.
It's almost impossible.
Wombat, your thoughts?
You saw what I posted to your comment on Twitter. Like, watch.
We're on the show here, so we got to talk about
watch. I was going to watch what pilots and flight attendants do when they're deadheading in the back. You don't see them with their seatbelts off.
Please don't.
You're not going to. Please don't watch me because I'm usually in uniform sleeping, which I'm sure they love as I'm drooling. But the point I'm getting at is, like, if you see a pilot or flight attendant that's deadheading in the back, they have their seatbelt on for a reason. Maybe mimic that. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's part of the issue here is that people just get too comfortable. And I mean, they're going over mountainous terrain. I don't know how high they were, in typical Wombat fashion. I
14,000 feet, 14,000 feet. Doug's got
how high is that above the ground? Roughly.
I mean, probably it's above 10.
So they double dinged them. I'm assuming that Southwest procedures are the same as ours and everybody else's. They double dinged them.
Within 2 seconds, it felt like the ride of terror. We fell 20 to 30 feet in the air, screaming. It was terrified. We really thought we were plummeting to a plane crash. Okay, Doug, highlight that first. Go back up. Highlight that for a second. Hold on. Remember last week we talked about the captain of that SkyWest thing doing an entire PA on the ground about what happened? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Exhibit A of why that's a bad idea. It's because these people have no idea what is going on. And when you tell them stuff like 20 to 30 feet, if it had been 20 to 30 feet, you know what that would have been like? Nothing. That's imperceptible in an aeroplane going, whatever, probably 300 knots, 290. Well, it's Southwest, so they're probably doing barber pole
600 knots
out the way.
But still, even more so. You're going that fast. 20 feet's nothing. I mean,
come on. Okay. Anyway, back to your. Sorry, Wombat, you were
Well,
saying.
but I was going to say the same thing on that quote. It's that quote proves that the people sitting in the back, whether it's because of their knowledge, which is fine. There are plenty of professions out there, which Mover, you and I had a discussion about one commenter that was fantastic and then went into telling me how I was a horrible pilot on YouTube from my comments, which was awesome.
Not that you're holding a grudge or anything. Go on.
Well, it's ridiculous because the point being is like, I'm not going to go to like Patrick Mahomes and tell him how to play football, right? Like there are people and there are professionals in those fields. I am not going to walk up to those people and be like, let me tell you something. I know better than you, because you don't. So if you do that, you're immediately showing your stupidity. But then you get comments like this that are, of course, going to get quoted, because as a news reporter, of course, you're going to quote that. Why? Because they put a distance so it quantifies it. And the news reporter doesn't know what they're reporting. So they're like 20 to 30 feet. Oh my goodness. Put it in there. That's going to be great because numbers, people love numbers. They love them. And everybody that's used to it is like 20 or 30 feet. Like, did you wouldn't even, like, would that have even kicked the autopilot off? Like,
I think it was a couple 100 feet, though.
I'm sure it was. That's my point.
What I think actually happened is a little bit too aggressive on the TCAS RA,
Probably
a push, and everybody went, oh, as they.
But I have a theory on that. And we've talked about this. You and I have not talked about this in this case, but we've talked about this with other cases. TCAS in commercial airliners was not designed for fast moving aircraft.
Correct.
So there's a very good, like the way we train in the airline world with TCAS. I don't know how you guys are, but usually in our sim, it's like you see the thing pop up on the screen and you're like,
there he is.
So we'll deal with that. What are we doing after this maneuver? Oh, and then it's like traffic. And you're like, yep, he's still coming. Like, well, we're going to do this procedure if it goes to, and then it's like climb, so it happens, but that's because the planes are coming at reasonable airline speed, not to say that a Hawker Hunter is the most dynamic of jet aircraft, but it's
doing 300 and something knots.
Yeah, it's not a slow airplane is my point. So what probably happened, I'm guessing, is that the TCAS went from what's normal and what we're trained to maybe a little bit quicker of an iteration, and it caused maybe a hair of an overreaction. And honestly, I probably would have done the same thing because you're used to that cadence. Then all of a sudden it's like, traffic descend or traffic climb, descend. Like it's trying to figure out what to do because it's trying to figure out a trajectory that it really wasn't designed to figure out. So,
Gonky, what do you think?
At the end of the day, they didn't hit the plane. So,
well, I know that with the autopilot off, trying to fly straight and level with all of my brain power, I'm probably going up and down 20 or 30 feet for sure.
100%.
So, because I'm just chasing that little flight path marker, right? So 20 or 30 feet, like you guys are saying, dude, come on. You can't.
You're not.
I mean, dude, this is in my mind sensationalism. Okay, Southwest 73 had a TCAS event, and the system worked exactly like it's supposed to work, and they missed a potential midair with a Hawker Hunter, and everyone's fine. And it,
well, not everybody.
Well,
hospital
people aren't. There wasn't a terrible plane crash, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
So, and what you guys are saying about the whole seatbelt thing, I'm guilty of this because when I was younger, I flew a lot because I lived overseas, and I remember one time, specifically when I was a little kid, we were flying a Air France 74 over the Atlantic, and that thing just dropped out of the sky. I don't know, we hit some crazy, and I was I think I was probably 8. Coolest thing ever. I'm floating in the air, and then the airplane boom hit, and all the masks came down, and people were screaming, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Is that why you mimic that on your landings now?
That's my carrier pilot. But people screamed because it was quite a fall, and boom, we hit, and we were fine, and then people were normal. I don't ever remember reading anything about it in the newspaper. Not that I could read at that age, but
you read at 8 years old.
tweener, but it's kind of like Mover was.
No can.
You know,
Buy Gonky's books. They're coloring books, just so we're clear.
There's a reason.
Pictures only.
But you know, it's like the story we covered last week, a movie you touched on, how the captain made this long diatribe. So everyone now is any speed bump you hit up there, oh, we almost died. I was petrified. And I'm not taking away.
I was petrified.
And I'm not taking away from the people that actually were injured, but back to the seatbelt thing, you know, you have to realize that we turn the seatbelt sign off when we're pretty sure it's going to be a smooth ride.
And you're level.
And we're level. And how do we determine whether it's going to be a smooth ride? Well, the airplanes.
Delta gives you a ride report every 4 minutes.
So light chop. That's how I check in. Light chop. Just to cover my butt. So, you know, it's the airplanes in front of us will give a ride report. And then when we check in with a new center frequency, a lot of times they pass us the ride report. So
you don't have taps?
I don't even know what that is, dude.
No, I promise you, he does not have any.
I don't know what that is. Listen, I'm in my dude.
The right flyer over here with 20 people on the wing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, do you guys not check in with center? Do you guys is this all automated now? And
dude.
I'm still
talking,
doing it.
Yeah, we're not even talking to anybody.
But what I'm getting at is, you know, other than that, looking out the windscreen is just air, right? And it has happened numerous times where we're sitting there cruising along. It's supposed to be smooth, and it is smooth for like an hour. And then all of a sudden, boom, you hit a rough or patch air. First thing, boom, seatbelt sign on. But you hope that everybody has their seatbelt on in the back, because you know, it's air. We can't actually see the bumps.
Sense. Like, do you get in a car and drive for the first 10 minutes, then take your seatbelt off when you get on the highway? No. Like, you don't. You shouldn't.
Well, but dude, but I mean, like I said, when I was younger, and when I was younger, we never wore seatbelts.
Yeah, but back then they didn't have seatbelts. Yeah,
they did, but
it's a different day and age now, and frankly, I think you're a fool for sitting in the back. Like if you're
sitting in the back at all.
Well, no, no. Thank you all for flying. Thank you. Let's talk about the detached garage and building. I appreciate it.
These days.
But I'll say it, like, if you are in the back and you base wearing your seatbelt or not wearing your seatbelt on the seatbelt sign being on or not, then you don't understand any of what we say in safety briefs.
Wait a minute. That's how I base whether I smoke.
No, no, wait. I mean, there's basically what I'm trying to say is we can't accurately with 100% certainty predict the ride.
Yeah.
And then secondly, much like this, ATC and flight planners don't plan for these events to happen. Sometimes they do due to human error or whatever. So we can't, this event with Southwest and the Hunter was not planned. So that's a good reason to always have your seatbelt on, just in case it's a bumpy ride or they have to do an aggressive maneuver because TCAS is directing them to do it. So it's always a good idea to have your seatbelt on, just like they say in the safety brief.
100%. 100%.
I would like to make a point.
Please.
Man. So, it's a trend item now. Anything that becomes a trend item becomes an emphasis item, right? You start to notice a little here and there. Obviously, it started the year with military aircraft, civilian aircraft. Then we had the T-38 and, the DCA stuff. And then we've had other incidents. And every time now it becomes a trend. Hawker Hunter, former military aircraft currently being used by Contract Red Air for training, for military training, whether it's intercepts or whatever, large force employment exercises, ship stuff, whatever they're doing, that's their purpose. If you notice, they had ADS-B, because that's why we see what they are, because everybody keeps screaming about ADS-B because they don't know what it means, but they heard a buzzword and they think that everything should have ADS-B because the B-52 didn't have it and the Black Hawk didn't have it, which, as you can see now, does not matter because TCAS will work just based off your transponder, Mode 3 Charlie. So that's one part. The second part is facts matter. And when stuff like this happens, everything gets hyper political. Everybody starts to blame the FAA. They start to blame the military. They start to blame external factors that had nothing to do with this incident. This incident boils down to the controllers that either didn't give a point out or did give a point out, had a vector, whatever, and how the TCAS RA played out. That's what it boils down to as far as how the passengers fared out. Everything else, if the investigation reveals that the Hawker Hunter wasn't on his assigned altitude and course, that's part of it. But it's not a bigger issue. It's an emphasis item because of one major horrific event that now everything becomes a major horrific event. We have talked about this before, like you pointed out, Wombat. Military aircraft with our high rates of descent, speed, climbs, etc., tend to sometimes not play well with TCAS. And what mitigates that is having good air traffic controllers that give point outs early and good common sense reactions to stuff. Right. Because at the end of the day, if that data was correct, which I'm not saying it was, because, we don't have the official data. We just, what it showed. If that data was correct, that's not even a near miss. That's 1 mile greater lateral separation and over 1,000 feet. That is just normal. That's correct. Inside of the bubble. So it's something that they talk about, but that is not a quote unquote near miss or a near collision or anything like that. So the danger wasn't there. Why we're talking about it is because people were hurt based on the reaction. Sure. Now, whether that was system driven because, they just did what happened or something else, we don't know. But it's not a symptom of something bigger. And I don't think these incidents are related at all, except that we as pilots need to continue to be vigilant and we need to continue to train. Because the only way to mitigate stuff like this is through training and good crew resource management.
100%.
That's it. That's my thing.
100%.
That's it.
Well said.
Also, I think, because I bet every one of us has set off an airline or TCAS in a military aircraft.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I did.
I used to do it for fun. But here's the thing. If you look where this is, and I bet that Hawker Hunter was en route somewhere. The point I'm getting at is air traffic controllers that are around military bases like Oceana or Lemoore or things like they get used to the jet, right? If this is not around a place where they're used to fast movers, then real fast movers like a Hawker Hunter mover, then it becomes an issue, right? Because think about it from an air traffic control standpoint. So it's not just pilot training to stay vigilant. It's also air traffic controller training that we need to push for to ensure they're getting the best. Because I can only imagine from my minimal time spent in the back of a Hawkeye watching what those dudes do and girls do with intercepts. If you're used to normal rates of airliners, and then all of a sudden here comes Johnny Utah, right, rolling in his Hawker Hunter, it's going to throw things off. Right. I mean,
it
throws
throws things off
in airliners when you're on your go home leg and you're trying to barber pull it because you're trying to make it home to the missus. And they're like, wait, what speed are you going? Like, well, 345. What do you need? They're like 280. You're like, dang it. So if it could throw it off there, these things are going to throw it off.
Yeah.
Big time. So that's all. I mean, training is the answer to everything. So.
All right, back to the audience, and then we've got another mishap we've got to talk about. And we've got another airline thing we got to talk about. And then we got
airlines. Jeez.
Grizzly Whale says, hello, mover and friends. Currently at the RCAF Phase 1 pilot training. Gave me advice a few years ago in a live stream to be a bro and help the others. Things are great, and we're working together.
Nice, dude. Keep it up.
Don't be a douche. Rule number 1.
John says the 2-person minimum before retreat is in her contract per her agent.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't read her contract, apparently.
Yeah.
Melvin says, since we're selling books, buy mine. Easy Giggles, A Vietnam Saga. Gary, Melvin is my call sign.
Okay.
All right, cool. Is it a coloring book? I wouldn't imagine there's a Vietnam coloring book.
Whoa. No, he did not, because the Super Hornet did not save anything.
Charles, did you see the Super Hornet save at the air show? We saw a Hornet save at the air show.
Legacy.
Legendary Hornet.
Legendary.
Falcon Fixer, like a Falcon jet, probably. Not a Viper. Nobody wouldn't be.
That would be awesome.
Just read the
Sorry.
quote, Mover. Get over it.
I don't get to watch live often, but never miss an episode since I discovered T-Mags. What's the origin and backstory to F-14 Tomcats? Why do you declare it? And what was your first video it happened? So at the dining outs at VFA 204, Strike Patron 204,
Yep.
the old Tomcat guys used to yell that. And I just thought it was cool. And I did like a
That's cool.
DCS video where I flew the Tomcat, and I was like, I'm going to be a Tomcat pilot today. So what do Tomcat pilots do? They yell Tomcats like they've got Tourette's, you know?
Because they do.
Because they do. I mean, there's two of them up there. What else is there to do? So
That's
it just
funny.
became a thing. I don't know. I stole it. I reappropriated it.
Oh, you brought it back, dude. It's awesome.
Brought it back. Yeah. Robert says, for whatever you guys have for food and drinks, enjoy. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.
Grizzly. Oh, we just read it. Plexi.
Plexi.
Would there be any reason for a KC-135 to be flying over South St. Louis today at 700-ish feet with its probe fully extended, asking for a friend? It's called a show of force. Trying to get St. Louis
to
to
South St. Louis.
straighten out.
Yeah, we're trying.
They got a call from the police. Hey,
Yeah. Next pass, we're gonna light it. You guys don't straighten up, fly right.
That's funny.
Was it a flyover? Maybe. I mean, was something
Probably, or
happening?
like an air show. Is there an air show they were practicing for?
Well, the main
I mean-
airport, right, is north
Oh.
of the city.
They could have been doing a show of force against Boeing and like trash out. Look, ours works. Ours won't break
That's
off.
true. That's true. dude.
Stuck at Boeing.
That's awesome.
That's right, man.
Wait, that they are also a Boeing.
They were
Damn
also
it.
Boeing. That's the only problem.
It's blue on blue.
Suck it, KC-46.
Yeah. Nerds with your two engines.
Yeah. What do they call it? Pegasus?
Pilot Caden. Oh, look, see, it's a 3-star
that.
donkey.
That's right.
Hey, gents, just
Four.
arrived at Columbus Air Force Base. Looking forward to pilot training. Thanks for keeping me motivated and entertained through your
Nice.
content. Hell yeah.
Awesome, man. Enjoy it. Work
Oh,
hard.
you're-
Enjoy.
We are ruining the next generation, Gonky.
Forget what I said about the next generation being soft. You guys are doing great.
Well, the next generation.
Next,
Yeah.
that's what I
The
obviously.
one after this one. Elias says, just got back from Comic-Con. They're about to do a figure release of all of the Airwolf team and craft.
Oh, that's cool.
Mover. needs
Look
to
at
go
Mover.
Mm.
Mover's about to depart
Can't
some of his
afford it,
money.
dude. No, I can't because the mental health minute.
No, can't wait to hear this. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Tom says Southwest motto: if you ain't clacking, you're slacking.
Oh, that's funny.
I can't read that. Wombat, did you spend any time at NAS Rhoda?
Was Rhoda even a base during her time in the Navy? I'm 46 years old, people. Okay, like seriously.
Dude, you gotta tell the wife she got throttled back, dude. She's already
Wombat,
too hard.
were you part of the bloody 100th flying B-17s? You look exactly like
Hold on, Rhoda, dude.
Rhoda Spain.
It was Rhoda.
Rhoda-
Hold on, let me look up that.
bad.
Rhoda.
All right,
NAS.
Elias says Hawker guy. So no two circle, huh? I don't know
It's
if a
still-
Hawker could go two circle.
It's still there. Rhoda, the NAS is still there.
See,
No, I was not at Rhoda to answer your question. I was a West Coast guy all the time. We didn't actually go anywhere other than Dubai and Hong Kong.
Nice.
And that was it.
Mr. Lambo, greetings from Belgium. Finally watching. I love your Malinois. My government got obese. They ordered an extra of 11 fat Amy's. Total equals 45. Good decision.
No.
It's too late to have buyer's remorse. You just
Yeah.
have to say,
If the check's cleared, just get over it.
just
Yeah.
enjoy it and listen.
We
You'll
probably
learn,
won't
you'll
shut it
learn to
down.
love it. You'll learn to love it. Like eventually you'll look at it and be like,
Yeah, she's a good cook. Does laundry.
she's smaller than the J35.
Valid.
As long as you got a garage big enough to fit her, she'll always be there because it barely flies. So, like, I mean, it's great. You'll do great.
Brian says, speaking of not following directions, did y'all see the woman almost face plant with her bag on the evacuation slide? We're going to get to that.
Oh,
Yes.
All right, let's stop for a moment and go to so in was it Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. I need to.
The last
Uh,
one?
Yeah, the L-39 crash was that he was
Oh.
on his way to
Oshkosh.
Oshkosh and L-39. No, South Dakota. Departed from South Dakota and ended up in western Minnesota. This L-39 had engine troubles at 20,000 feet, or roughly, and attempted to do a flame-out landing to Granite Falls Municipal Airport. Unfortunately, it was short. They attempted an ejection. The backseater did not get out. The front seater did get out. And the front seater, as you may know, was involved in a mishap 2 years ago with the MiG-23 in Michigan, which we covered. We also covered his.
That's the one where it starts rolling and they have the video of them punching.
Yep.
Is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he got on the other channel and started talking about what he was thinking from the back seat. So it's his second ejection.
Dude, he's gonna beat Tom Cruise soon.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. The backseater did not make it.
Yeah,
the seat did not. It was out of the airplane, but it didn't fire. So very tragic. Gonky, your thoughts? Because I've got 10 hours in the L-39, and it depends. Some owners have. I think there's 3 ways they do this. One, they disarm the seats completely, because that way they don't have to deal with the ATF and the cartridges and all that stuff. 2, they have hot seats that are original. So it's like a 080, or what was the T-38? Was it 60 or 80?
Dude, I don't know.
Whichever one the
Remember.
T-38 was, it was the other one. So either if it was 60 or 80, but it's not a 00 seat. It needs some airspeed to get you out. And it's not sequenced. So front seat, back seat, you have to figure that out between yourselves.
Do they initiate each other or no?
Nope. It's just free for
So
all.
somebody could just not go.
Yeah. And then there's the Martin Baker, which I don't know if they can sequence those, but some have upgraded to Martin Baker seats. So sounds like through the weather, they broke out at 1,200 feet, which is a night. If you've ever been a single, Wombat, T-45. If you've ever been a single engine into weather with no HUD, that's a rough situation for anybody to try to do that. And then to break out at 1,200 feet, not have the energy. Blanco Lirio did a great video on this as far as the configuration. I believe they had tanks, which adds drag.
Sure.
Like the wing tanks and the centerline tank. But I don't know, Gonky, your thoughts on that? I mean,
yeah, when the story first broke, I was thinking to myself, he loses the engine at 20,000 feet. He gets over in it. Which airfield was he over? Does it say? Some municipal airport. Yeah. So he gets over
wrong thing.
He gets over an airfield and tries to bring it in for an engine out. And my only experience
Granite Falls.
Yeah. So he's over Granite Falls and he tries to get in there, and when I first heard about this mishap, I was like, oh man, he messed up the
PA.
Yeah, the
the
precautionary approach. Because my only experience doing in single engine tactical airplanes is in the T-45, and I found them relatively easy. Which once more facts started to come out, that's why it's always bad to jump to conclusions. More facts came out. They're like, he had to penetrate a cloud layer, and they broke out at 1,200 feet. Didn't have the energy to make it, and obviously, I've never trained that scenario, and that is a really varsity scenario. I don't know what kind of. I imagine it had decent avionics inside it, so even without visual reference to the ground, he could probably get pretty close to right over the field. But regardless, man, I mean, you come out of the cloud at 1,200 feet. If you're not pretty much on profile, you ain't gonna make it. So hey, good on him for his best effort, and came up short. And then my second question, Mover kind of touched on it a little bit, was, and I'm not smart on this with L-39s or what variant of seats they had in this L-39, but I wonder what happened to the seat in the back. In airplanes that I've flown where the seats aren't sequenced, or for whatever reason, you don't want to have them sequenced. You always talk about in the brief, hey, if we have to get out, eject. Like when you hear the first one, you pull, because when I'm done talking, I'm going to pull. And that gives that gives the back seater time to clear the aircraft, because if you punch first up front and he waits or he goes second, there could definitely be a collision issue, or possibly FOD damage the the aft sequencers or whatever. So it's very important safety. Now, if you don't have time, right, every man for himself or woman for himself, but I would think at 1,200 feet you would have time to at least get that out. I don't know, I wasn't there, they were dealing with a lot, but that's, now that's the question in my mind, is really being in an ejection seat aircraft, how do we lose somebody back there? And L-39 pilots, how do you learn from this so it doesn't happen again?
Yeah,
right?
no
That's always the goal. How do we learn from it? Doesn't happen again. I don't know. Wombat, what do you think?
Yeah, no, you hit everything on the head. I mean, it's sad to have something like that. And, I think while these companies that fly these aircraft, it's cool. I'm curious of the standardization and stuff like that, because that's the one thing in the military, I knew exactly what to expect, whether it was bailing out of the Hawkeye, punching out of the Hornet, if I was dueled up because I was in training, or solo. And, people are like, oh, well, solo, in a Charlie, it's no big deal. And it's like, no, it is a big deal, because what Gonky just explained can be coming from another jet, right? I mean, so you now just take the same crew coordination and put it over 2 jets, because your wingman or your lead may see something you don't see. So, and then going to T-45s where you have students or you have VIPs or things like that. It's very different, but it was all very standardized and thought out. And that's where I would, I'd put the onus on these companies. If you're going to fly around in an aircraft that's got that capability, like, it better be ironclad, because they're great when they work, but you're sitting on a rocket of sorts, and you could, at that time, it's never going to be calm, right? And if the person that's flying back there is not comfortable with it, or up front is not comfortable with it, I don't know. That's sad, though.
Yeah, I was looking at I was trying to find this. Even if they are sequenced, which I'm not 100% sure on, the envelope on what I was just reading about the L-39 is there have not been a lot of successful ejections with this aircraft. And that is part of the reason a lot of civilian operators just say, you know what, we'll take our chances, because the number of successful ejections is very low, unless it's like perfect conditions. So
cost benefit isn't there.
Right. So, I mean, it may not be hey, backseater didn't go, front seat, you know what I mean? But
dude, yeah, 100%.
I would say if it had a sequencing system, the backseater should have gone first. So that tells 100%. Me that we're probably right, that it was each individual doing their own thing, because usually backseat, front seat, that's just how they, when you're in a commanded ejection where they sequence, that's just how it works. I mean, T-38 didn't have sequence ejection seats, right? We would brief, hey, bail out, bail out, bail out, dude, you better be gone, first one. Because that
was like important. That movie line, right? What was it? Flight of the Intruder, where they're like, so if we have to get out, I'm going to say, what are you going to say? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter. If you hear it more than once, I'm not going to be here, right? Or something like that. It's like,
yeah. But, they're cool jets, and they're widely purchased, expensive or cheap to buy, expensive to operate. I don't know what the standardized training programs are for, all that stuff. We as military aviators get very robust training in ejection seats, survival equipment, all of that stuff. And I don't know, specifically for a lot of these civilian I bet you it's just like anything else, right? You go to one place and you're getting top level, from the factories,
sure,
military trained test pilots. And one place you're getting Joe Blow and, hey, dude, we'll figure it out when we get there. If there's some rain, we're going to fly around it. I mean, it's different levels. Now, for this particular pilot, I've met the pilot involved. I met him at the schoolhouse at the airline. And seems like a sharp guy. He's had a run of bad luck with these jets, and we talked about it. I mean, we were critical of what he may or may not have known in the back seat of the MiG-23 because that's a very encapsulated aircraft to know what was going on. He was in the front seat from what I understand in this one, so he's PIC. So the roles reversed, and I would think that if the PIC makes a decision, then what else are you going to do? I mean, obviously they weren't going to make it, so it sucks. It sucks that a life was lost. And I feel for the family, but you also feel for this pilot because now I mean, dude, the sleepless nights, it'd be tough. It'd be hard.
It'd be horrible.
Yeah, dude. I mean, no one's winning here, obviously. So.
No, it sucks.
No, and it's hard. I got to imagine. I don't know the guy's background, if he was military or civilian background, but it's one thing to lose people in combat or training in the military, but when it's like this, it's like,
yeah. Well, and they were going to a fun thing. They were going to Oshkosh. It was supposed to be hey, dude, let's go. We'll show up. Woo. We'll, come up and do some formation because I think all the L-39s do like a pass, and I think no one thought, hey, this was going to be my Finney flight, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Andrew, thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
Appears to be a 737. He just wants us to know he's watching. DC-91 Wombat. I would also say the issue is people haven't really listened to safety demos like 2005. Was 2005 when it was the smoking is not allowed? Remember that redheaded girl on any Delta flight? I paid attention to that one.
Yeah,
I bet you did.
That was 20 years
She's
ago.
probably still there if you're interested.
head of the union.
I might be able to connect you if you want.
LaBrakes says tip money if you want to take Luna down to rips on the lakefront. Cool.
Nice.
Ron says I love Southwest because you can't miss them at 1,000-foot vertical separation.
Oh, dude.
That's funny.
Kip Duran says reading Larry Bond's Red Phoenix about North Korean war in the 80s with early Vipers. Hey, we got a guy who might know about that. Guy gets hit, but handles don't work. He activates canopy raise. When the seat canopy rips off, it automatically fires seats. Is that legit? Funny you should mention that. So the old Viper, you had the rest of your life to figure that seat out because the only way for the seat to fire is for the canopy to go. So, I mean, literally, we trained to this. So if you pull the handle, nothing happens. You check to make sure it's armed. Pull the handle again, nothing happens. Okay. Flip the spider guard because you're always doing this like you're like move your arm, put it back because you didn't want to rip your arm off, right? You didn't want to be one arm jack with no left hand because that's where everything was happening. So you were like, okay, flip it back. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, now I'm gonna hit the canopy thing, the actual button, because there's a spider guard and then the button. Nope, that didn't work. So then the final step was to reach back and start cranking and hope that it opened and you can get your arm back fast enough before it ripped off because there's a little lanyard that you check on every pre-flight, little cable that's connected. And the only way for the seat to fire is for that to pull out of the seat with the canopy. Otherwise it won't fire because there's no way for it to go through the canopy.
You can't jettison the canopy?
I'm sorry, that's one of them. Jettison the canopy.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute here.
Like you've got like you had all the different steps.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. But you had the rest
Again,
of
planes built by the lowest bidder.
But I mean, most of the time you pull the handle at sequence, everything worked.
I don't know that that's ever happened where it really, but
it's
work, something we were trained for, which
now
means
are
that
newer Vipers, do you go through the canopy?
No,
No.
there are
Right, you
no
still gotta get rid of
iterations where you go through the canopy.
There's no knife on the top of the seat. I didn't notice. Oh, okay.
No, because the seat's angled.
It's
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's your noggin.
Your forehead
head
is the knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the good news is if you successfully fly for 20 years, you won't be able to turn that far left.
I
So
turn
really-
like Batman.
Why turn with your neck when you can look with your eyes?
Dude, Batman makes it cool, so can I. So to answer your question, that's legit. And that's probably where you got it from.
That's
Eric says, Mover Factory Entertainment is making an Airwolf helmet full size. Well, I don't have any money, so it's fine.
We're getting there.
Gundam Blade says, evening, Wombat, Doug, Mover, and Gonky. Penny for your thoughts. Wombat, if you didn't know Gonky or Mover in the carrier and you're in call for a landing qualification, would you pass them or fail them?
Depends on how they fly.
No.
I'd fail both of them if they deserve to be failed.
Then we'd have a beef.
But you'd be alive to have that beef. You're welcome for my service. Angel in white.
I love it.
Alex, Aviation Adventures. What's up, Alec?
Yeah.
Love
what's up,
Masters
man?
of
Look
the
at
Air. Dad and me watched it every Friday when it came out, listening to the book. And Mover found a plane for you to check out the SW-51. Is that the one with the Rotax engine? I can't get behind that. It had a little Rotax 169 horsepower now.
What is it? SW-51?
Yeah, it's a scale P-51, but it's got like a Rotax engine. It only does like 180 knots.
Alec, I like it. I like it.
I want the Thunder Mustang with the big motor.
I want the actual
Thomas
Mustang.
Cruise.
No, but
when he
there's a
sells
Thunder
his.
Mustang that's got like a supercharged LS engine that
That's
still
true.
gets it. This one's like 180 knots. This is.
I
need
like
speed.
it. I like it.
You just do that just to be.
No,
We have a
dude.
beef, Gonky. We have a beef. Oh crap, dude! We gotta hurry. We got several topics left.
Gotta hurry. We got so much.
Hey, so there was a rejected takeoff at Denver, 737 MAX with the carbon brakes. Rejected takeoff, brake fire. Looked like the gear collapsed, which is hard to tell if it's just the way, because it kind of looks like it's sitting on the nacelle. But check out this video.
It's a 7.3, dude.
Big
It's
screen,
always on
Douglas.
the
Big
nacelle.
screen. Always big screen. Look at these idiots.
Make sure you take all your
why
carry-on
you
belongings.
know why you busted you on your face, lady? Because you carried your bag out.
Wow, dude.
Watch this. His kid and the bags. Every one of these people should be on a no-fly list.
Well, I mean, you should take your kid. Mover didn't mean leave your kid. Let's just clear that up.
50-50.
Take your kid.
Look at the
Look at that. Look at that.
Dude.
Look at that. And
Look
he
at that,
busted his
eating
ass
it.
with the kid.
Really?
Well, you use the kid to break his fall.
That is smart.
So,
Like, she's got a SpongeBob backpack. Y'all are idiots.
Oh, dude, there's duty-free whiskey in there. I mean, come on.
so
Everybody
So
acts
here's
like
I sent this to my wife, right? Because we have some little ones. And I was like, this is worth watching just for training.
Yeah.
Okay. I go for when you travel. And we talked about it. We went on a walk with our daughter and we were talking about it. And I was like, number one, if you travel in an airliner, have everything you need for your immediate future on your person. IDs, keys, whatever you deem. If you have medication that's that important, have it on your person. Number two, get off the plane. You'll get the stuff back. It's not like there's a museum somewhere where this plane's going to go and American airline crews are going to pick through your luggage to see what you have. But it's not just the hurting yourself or your little kid going down the slide. It's delaying other people getting off the plane in a
Which
plane
is
that's
what
starting
happened
to smoke.
at Aeroflot.
So take some knowledge from what was that? Was it
It was Aeroflot.
the Japanese airline 350?
Sukhoi-
where-
Sukhoi
no. I'm
Superjet.
talking about the overseas like 350.
Oh, that was a 7.
No. It was an A350 where they evacuated everybody in like no time. And I think
Oh,
it was
where
Japan.
they landed on top of the Coast Guard.
Yes.
Yeah, but they were
Right.
out and nobody died, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when we talked about that, I was like, that wouldn't happen here. Because everybody'd be like, my Louis Vuitton bag. Like, I need this. And it's like,
Aeroflot directly contributed to the deaths of people because of this.
Yeah.
Like the reason that not everybody got off is because people were dragging bags out there. Look at that. You deserve that.
yeah.
Yep.
The only girl that
And-
does it right is this one in pink that's about to come out. It's a little girl. She's the only one. She shows up. Look, that little girl's right.
Did great.
That one's wrong. The little girl right here. That's it. You did everything right. You need to train all of these other idiots.
Also, I would say dress to egress. If you're
Especially
traveling,
face plant.
have on shoes, have on clothes.
Yeah.
You don't need to have on your 6-inch stilettos going down this
Flip
ramp.
flops.
flip flops. I mean, and that's the problem. It's
Wear
a cultural
cotton.
problem.
Yeah, dude.
Well, let's
Like-
just put it this way. Great job to the crew because they got the
Yeah.
flaps down and
Yep.
they got
I
the
guess that's
slides
a-
popped. Everybody lived.
Yeah, great job.
Airplane is probably going to be usable again one day.
Probably. But it doesn't even matter. Everybody lived. So the crew did their job. Here's the other thing I'll say. Where is the able-bodied, I'm going to be
Where's the
sexist,
FO?
men?
FO's on the other side, probably.
Yeah. Where's the able-bodied? FO's the one recording it. Just kidding. He's like, this is going to be awesome for my YouTube channel.
Gonky show, yeah.
But where are the able-bodied, and yes, I will sound sexist, men being at the bottom of the slide to help people?
That's ableist.
Like, if you were of sound mind and body and can lift heavy things, help people get off the plane because it helps people move.
we need
Put
that
your phones down.
South American girl going "Ka-da-da-dee-da, ka-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da," elbowing as she goes down. You've seen that video where they're like,
Yeah.
"Ka-da-da-dee-da." I don't know what she's saying, so I'm just using gibberish at this point. But she's
Yeah.
elbowing. Like these people need the people's elbow.
Yeah.
Dude, every single person that came out of there with their bags, 1000% put them on a no-fly list.
Yeah.
That's all
Like-
of them, dude. It's like the two
Yeah.
little girl. Oh no, this he's got a man purse.
The one guy
So-
with his coffee, you need your coffee. But listen,
Yeah. It's
mean,
been a
that
rough
guy-
day. You're not making your connection.
Dude,
so
You're
take
all
your coffee.
banned.
no excuse, man, because I mean, we're joking
Attempted
about it a little
manslaughter.
bit. Yeah, we're joking about it a little bit, but
Yeah.
like, no kidding. People have died because you want to bring your dumb bag. And like
Yep.
you said, Wombat, there's not a secret vault with everybody's bags. American Airlines
Well,
does not want to keep everyone's bags that are left on the, and more
And-
importantly, like this guy eating crap with his kid holding his bags. Dude,
Yeah.
you are
Hold
going to
your
injure
kid.
yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to injure
Hold your kid.
yourself.
And your
trying to
kid.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
here's the thing, man. Like, honestly, if you have stuff that's that important, okay? If
Nothing's
it's that important,
nothing's that important, dude. Nothing.
but if it's something
fly
that
with
you deem either don't fly with it or reevaluate what's important. But if it's something that, whether it's paperwork or something that has to be on your body, medication, something like that, figure out something that is strapped tightly to your body, i.e. I'm going to date
Hmm.
myself back on the
Like a
Saratoga,
fanny pack.
like a fanny pack or like a cross. My wife will travel with a cross pack and she'll sit there on the plane with it. It's there. That's not going to affect her getting off the plane quickly because it's on her. The things with these giant backpacks getting caught on stuff. Like, I remember vividly when we were taught how to egress the E2 as a pilot, you had to de-rig the seat, get up, you had to turn around, and you had to go down this hallway. And we would joke, especially the bigger pilots, as to like what of your gear was going to get caught up on everything. But it applies here too. You're going down that aisle. Like every time I'm asleep trying to deadhead in the back, I get knocked by somebody's backpack because everybody that travels doesn't realize when they wear a backpack and they're cool. Every time they do this, they hit somebody in the head. All of that is going to slow everything down. So if it's not in your mass and in your center, leave it and get off the plane. That's the best thing you can do. And it's,
Dude, it's unfortunately, especially in the US, dude, it's a me culture.
100%.
People just thinking about themselves, selfish. I hate to say it, but it's true. I'll say it. The me
Oh, it's
culture,
100% true.
it's I'll grab my bag, my stuff. I'm not leaving it in there. I might never see it again. Like they don't put, there's no value on someone else's safety or life. And they don't understand, dude, that like, I mean, listen, burning to death on an airplane is like on my short list of some of the worst ways to die. And people have died because, the people in front of them cared more about their bags. So I got no patience,
No.
for people like that. I mean, 100%, dude, put them on a no-fly list. All right, 5 years. And after that, it's like you're on parole, right? So, I mean, dude, I don't know. There's no excuse. But on a side note, dude, there were no tires on that left main mount after that fire. Did you see that as just a stump?
Yeah, I think somebody had something about one of them separated, like went the other way.
Gone.
that's not good.
Not good.
That's not good. This is an aborted takeoff?
Rejected takeoff, sir.
Sorry, whatever.
RTO.
For an engine fire, or do we know the reason for the? Okay, we don't know the
I
reason.
think it
for
was I think
a
it
door
was a
plug
blown
fell
tire.
out. Kidding.
I think it was tires. I think they got hot brakes and all that.
On
I don't know
takeoff?
though. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. We just know that people are dumb. Hey, listen,
People are
Wombat, I hope you brought your soapbox.
It's always here for you.
because I'll save this one for you. We got an anonymous tip from a current naval
Deep intel.
aviator.
What does he fly? First of all, is it a helo guy? Because
Who cares? Mover and Gonky, PERS 43 de facto stop loss. Thanks for taking the time to read this. I'm a current naval aviator in the VFA community. Well, there's your answer.
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
currently
now
a
I'm
policy-
listening.
Would you let me talk? There is currently a policy shift at PERS 43 that I believe deserves public attention, specifically with regards to people like your viewers, many of whom are prospective military pilots. Bum, bum, bum. Bottom line up front, PERS 43 is forcing aviators to remain on active duty beyond their service obligations in peacetime. At present, the 8-year active duty obligation post wings is not being honored. The Navy claims MIL-PERS man allows this. However, there are multiple sections in the MPM that contradict this. Don't want to get into boring policy debate of it, but have references if you want them. PERS 43 has actually even gone as far as to assert that MSR is a minimum service requirement, and therefore the Navy has the option to require more. This is a radical departure from what we all understand the MSR to be and what it actually is. MSR means that is the minimum baseline obligation after winging, and you may obligate yourself to more through different schools, orders, and programs, TPS, Top Gun, department head, etc. Any prospective naval aviator should be aware that even in peacetime, the Navy can and will hold them on active duty for as long as the Navy sees fit. While officer serves at the pleasure of the president and resignations may be denied, the practice of forcibly retaining non-obligated officers in peacetime is an unprecedented escalation of their retention efforts. They are doing this by forcing officers to serve a full second sea tour while ignoring the policy mechanism that allows officers to withdraw consent to additional obligation. Ironically, this will have significant retention and recruiting consequences. It's a continuation of PERS cycle of creating long-term issues to attempt to fix near-term problems. After all, the detailers, placement officers, fit reps only reflect the billets they fill in a given cycle, and they will be long gone by the time the chickens come home to roost. I saw your episode on PERS drama last year and wanted to bring this to your attention, as PERS has tripled down on their adversarial approach with their constituents since that episode. When we get tours at the squadron, I quietly recommend the Air National Guard and the Air Force to those interested in military aviation. I feel like your platform may be a great opportunity to inform and educate individuals considering naval aviation. Wombat, your thoughts?
Put up is my social media. Do you have my email on there?
I have your email
that you can put up on the screen before I say what I'm about to say?
Like this?
Yes. So that's my website and my social media. I will say before everything I'm about to say, PERS 43 actual, I welcome you to reply directly to me after I say what I'm about to say. And that's how you get a hold of me. I'm waiting. This move is complete and utter effing garbage. Because what's not in that email, but what I know for a fact, is they've gone so far, and this should outrage everybody who's watching this, because everything that's in that email is wrong. 100% wrong. Okay. When we signed up, now granted, there's gonna be haters out there that are like, well, you signed up, you raised your hand, and we did. But there is a commitment that a lot of people don't even want to think about right now, right? I mean, I've talked to young kids and they're like, why would I go active duty? Like you're talking a minimum of 10 years. To an 18, 19, 20-year-old, 10 years is a lifetime, right? I mean, if you're 20 and you're making this decision, 10 years, that's half your life. Think about that. To us, we're like 10 years, like whatever, but that's because we've had over 4 times 10 years, right? To a 20-year-old, that's half the time that they've been in existence. And you're saying that they are required to be there. That's a lot as is. If you are then going to go on top of that and say, we can do whatever we want, peacetime, that's fine. You are essentially taking all future recruiting and you're shutting it down. You are ruining naval aviation. And I'm going to make it even worse. And that's why I wanted my email up there, because I would love to talk to PERS 43 actual. I don't want the BS detailers or the placement officers, because frankly, I've dealt with all of those idiots my whole career, and I have nothing to say to any of you idiots. You're just middle management trying to step on somebody to get to your skipper tours. So I have no time for you. But PERS 43 actual, I would love to hear this. What do you think this is going to fix in recruiting for your service that, by the way, sir or ma'am, you signed up for? And you're in a role that is recruitment and is in manning. How is this going to help us long-term to be warfighters? And number two, I would love you to answer the worst part of this. And that is, not only are they making people go past their MSRs, right? They are even taking out, you ready for this one, guys? Let's all go big because I want everybody to see the reaction you have on your faces. They are even taking out the clause that if you have, I forget the exact term, but a child that has special needs where you would be kept in a set of orders because it's easier on the child, they have taken that out as well. Meaning you can have a special needs child and they're going to send you to another tour. There's no protection there. So tell me this, PERS 43, because this is ultimately your decision, right? It's your command. This is not detailers. This is not, that's middle management BS. This is the Admiral actual here. This is your command. So answer to me how, please explain to me as somebody who loves the Navy, how you think doing this to your current generation of people, to include people that have special needs children that really, really, really need to stay in a location because it's better for their family. How is this going to help future retention? I am all ears. This is the most, and I'm sorry to say it on your show, chicken shit thing I've ever seen the Navy do to their people. And as much as I love the Navy, until I get a good answer, I couldn't recommend the Navy to anybody. Why would you? You should go Air National Guard all day, every day. Will it be as cool as landing on an aircraft carrier? No. But do you have control over your life? 100%. This is horrible. And I have no, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. The story that comes back to me on this was back in 2012 or 13 when I was in Meridian and I was at the wing and one of the skippers went to PERS 43, right? Different PERS 43 back then, obviously, and asked about the upcoming pilot shortage due to the airline starting to hire. And I will never forget it. He came back and I was like, sir, what was the Admiral's answer? And the Admiral stood in front of all these skippers and said, we do not see that as a problem. Now, this is 2013. I remember telling my dad that same story, and my dad just laughed. Whether he remembers it or not, he's probably listening now, but my dad just laughed. He goes, well, he was right. He didn't see it as a problem. He said it different. I go, what do you mean he said it different? He goes, the Admiral said, I don't see it as a problem. What he really meant to say is, I don't see it as my problem. Because these guys are on 3-year orders. They're going to make this massive thing, right? Like, oh, this is what we're going to do. And look at how my numbers, I took all these red numbers and I made them green, guys. So you should promote me to the next star and give me more responsibility. And then everybody forgets about the policies that person did. They move on to their next set of orders or their cushy government contract job when they get out. And everybody else that's in there, the bros and broettes are stuck dealing with the aftermath. And that's what you're going to have from this, even more so. It's already still an aftermath from the first time. So again, email me, call me. I would love to talk to PERS Actual. I'm wide open. You have my schedule. I will put down anything to talk to you so you could explain to me why you think keeping people on a second set of sea tours or taking people who have special needs kids and moving them, which is against the policy, is good for the Navy, falls into honor, courage, and commitment. Thank you. And any of those things, I am open to that call. I will put down everything I'm doing for that call. And when you give me an answer that I think is justifiable, I will come right back on this show and give it to all of the watchers. I'll bet you my next paycheck, I'm not getting that call.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Nice,
Gonky.
Gonky.
Yeah. Well, as somebody who's quit a couple times, it's always been for leadership. And, you know, Wombat hit the nail on the head. This problem's been going on for a while. You can't force the fix, right? And it's funny, Wombat. I mean, I love naval aviation. I'm so thankful and happy about what the opportunities that the Navy gave me. But like you, I always try to steer people towards Reserve Guard or Coast Guard, to be honest. That's just honest truth, because I got out of active duty because I didn't believe in the leadership. I love my job. I love the people I worked with. I love the Navy, but I could see, I could see leadership wasn't where it needed to be, and I think it's gotten worse. And it just seems like as things get worse, all they know how to do is just squeeze tighter. They don't realize what they're doing is wrong and bad. I mean, this is not the first naval aviator that's reached out to me that has told me, like, I'm out of here, like, forget about it. And these are guys that, we need them tell you, well, they're the guys to stay. We need them, but these are guys that, 5 years ago. So, make them tell the face, we help them get in, kind of thing. So it's tragic to me because to me, you can't, dude. I mean, you can only beat the help so much, right? So
my dad used to say, man, you kick the dog enough times, one day the dog's not coming home.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true. And
absolutely.
And the thing with this, that I heard it today, and when you said it, Gonky, it hit me, and I don't mean to cut you off, but because everybody hates when I interrupt, and I'll get that in the damn comments, but it's what makes it great and gets the views up, so suck it. But the point that I'm getting at here, it was today, I was working out, I was doing a row, I had on my typical goofy motivational shit, and I was listening to Jocko talk about SEAL training, right, and about Hell Week, and about all the things they go through. And it's all the stuff I've heard a million times, right? And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, those are some hard dudes. And the thing that hit me is he said very specifically, he was like, I don't ever encourage anybody to go into SEAL training. He's not discouraging. It's what he's saying is very careful there. He's not discouraging you. But if you're the type of person that wants to be a Navy SEAL, you shouldn't need to be encouraged. I take the same approach with naval aviation. Listen, I'm not going to sit here anymore because of what the piss poor leadership has done. And I'm not saying it's all that way. There are some fantastic leaders. Gonky, you and I have worked for some of the same people. I mean, I'd follow them to the end of the earth with no weapons, right? That's in both communities. I've had it in the Hawkeye community. I've had it in the Hornet community. I've had it in the training command. But the problem is those people see it too, right? The good leaders see it. They know. They're not stupid. You're in a situation where now, listen, if you're 15, 16, 17 or younger and you want to be a naval aviator, I'm not going to encourage you to do it. I'll support you and I'll help you and I'll answer your Instagram messages and emails, but I'm not going to go out of my way to encourage it until the Navy starts fixing this problem. Now, if the Navy fixes this problem and I see a fix, I will use every breath I have. And every bit, and most of this comes from you too, because you actually have social media following, not like me, very little, but every bit of my voice and my platform to get the next generation to go in there. Because if they can fix this the right way, that is true leadership. That's what it's going to take. Until that happens,
it's gonna take a true leader, dude. And that's I saw, in the Navy especially, I just didn't see that happening. And I'm not saying, leadership in other branches is just spectacular, but Guard, Air Force Reserve, you definitely have a little more control. Mover, what do you think?
Well, I can't speak to the Navy side of things. But I will say what's that?
You're a naval aviator. Don't sell yourself.
Well, I mean, I was never active duty though. I never had the risk of, but to your points, if anyone could do it, anyone would do it. Recruitment and retention, no matter the service, is a national security issue. If you cannot put the best and brightest in those cockpits, you've already lost, because what happens when you don't? You lose assets, aircraft, people in places that you shouldn't, and then you're not combat ready. You're combat ineffective. When the balloon goes up and it's time to go, sign that blank check, payable up to and including your life, you're ill-equipped. because we've put the wrong people in positions, or we don't even have enough people. I mean, when jets are sitting because they can't fill the cockpits. Now, I'm not of the belief that it's hard to recruit people in these jobs because, I mean, dude, thousands of kids. Now, that's becoming less and less true. As kids get more information and hear stuff like this, I think it's going to be tougher. But you have 20th century policies in a 21st century world where you think that you can enforce your will upon people, which will work. I mean, by letter of the law, they don't have a choice. They're going to be stuck. But what do? Do they get out and go? Do they re-up, go to the Navy Reserve, Palace Chase to the Guard, go to the reserves? I mean, what happens when you have no clause in them anymore? You lose that experience pool, number one. But number two, and we've talked about this on the show, the greatest recruiter and the worst recruiter is the person that's been in the military. Because what motivates people, right? It's the kid listening to the Black Hawk Down story and, you know, he's gone, man, I'll be outside. Like, those stories of heroism motivate us to want to go do the job. The stories of people fighting for the guy or girl next to them motivate us to do the job. But when you hear stories of a corporation that hates you and does whatever it can to make your life miserable because they can, you get kids that are like, why would I do that, dude? I can go straight to the airlines, make $300 an hour, and not worry about this a single. Now, does the airline hate you? Yes. But do I have
It's
the
a
freedom?
different kind of hate. Dude, it's different, though. It's completely different.
But they don't
Completely
have
different.
U.S. code statutory hooks in you. And so the way, and I will say this, you know, I'm not a leader. I'm not management. I'm nothing. I'm just a dude that used to fly fighters. But the way that you encourage people to want to stay is through good leadership, which to me, again, not the experienced type. I'm, you know, never been in a position of command, but to me is to take away all obstacles for the people that are following you to do their jobs, get out of their way, and create an atmosphere where they're excited to go to work because they believe in what you're doing. Every great leader I've ever had has done that, has been the one that has tried to do whatever they could to make sure I understood what we were doing and was maintain motivation. And the quickest way to kill motivation is to take away choice. Because if people believe they have a choice, they're more likely to stay than if you force them into whatever it is you're trying to do. And word of mouth in the social media digital age travels faster than you can ever imagine. So I would just say, for anybody that's like, hey, I don't know how to fix this, tread carefully, because it is a national security issue when you can't fill those cockpits.
Yeah, it's I agree 100%. The Navy right now, since we're talking about them, is fighting an internal war in a digital age, but they're thinking like they're on wooden sailing ships. And you're not in the same boat, pun intended. I mean, it's the things that happen so fast, and these policymakers and these leaders, right? They're afraid. Mover, to your point, they're afraid to take down the barriers and let their people do their job. You want to know why? Because it will uncover how lackluster their ability is as a leader. Because they didn't get there because they had a leader that took down barriers. They got there because they did all the right training. They said the right things. They took the right jobs. Had nothing to do with war fighting, right? Had nothing to do with war fighting. But when that's a problem is when we're talking retention, because nobody in their right mind signed up to be a naval aviator because they were hoping they would have to do their Navy knowledge online, or they would have to do their evals, or they would have to stay late because somebody got in trouble, or they would have to do mission planning. They did it to be a warfighter. I don't care what your platform is. Everybody in naval aviation joined to be a warfighter of some sort, because naval aviation in and of itself is that. It is a very tight-knit, it's a very unique skill set. And I'm talking helicopters all the way through the big wings, although I could talk crap about the big wings, but there's a culture there. And you have now taken that culture and you've squashed it because we have put all these other things like I remember specifically when I put in the transition to fly Hornets, one of the comments was, oh, wow, he got his master's on his own. That's great. We don't have to worry about sending him to that. Hold on a second. The answer wasn't that's great because he took the initiative up on it himself while he was on 3 combat deployments in the E2 to do a master's on the side instead of playing video games in his room all the time with his buddies. That wasn't the comment. The comment is we don't have to send him to get his master's. Hold on a second.
Just called you a nerd, but go on.
How are you going to motivate a generation to go above and beyond if you're thankful they do it because it helps you? And even if you are thankful that I did that because it helps the organization, you don't say that. You say, hey, that's a hard charger, man. Nice job. You had a goal. Hey, Todd, you had a goal. You wanted to be a Hornet pilot. And you knew that you sat in API behind Gonky and they put out that giant PowerPoint of what a naval aviator's career is and where all the wickets are. And you noticed at that point that there was no spot for a transition of communities. So you had to find a gap. Well, I don't really want to go to get my master's degree in Rhode Island. Like, what do I care? Like, I was going to get it from the University of Oklahoma for $700. Not going to use it anyway, just like the people that go to Rhode Island. So what difference does it make? But it gives me that gap to be able to do it. But again, at the end, it wasn't, hey, nice job because you saw a goal and you figured out a way. It was nice job because you made it easier on us. And that is fundamentally what's wrong. The leaders of the United States Navy and naval aviation need to stop thinking about themselves. They raised their right hands and took an oath as well, and it's to serve the people that serve them. None of them need to be there. Okay? None of them. I mean, let's be honest. Trump could come in and cut some bureaucratic tape in every service if he wanted to. There are so many people that are supportive people that are supportive people. It's ridiculous. And what happens, it's because the wrong people are getting promoted. And as these people get promoted, they're like, well, I don't know how to do this job. I need an assistant. So we should create an assistant role. And then it just becomes this gluttony of just bad ideas and groupthink. And you need these warriors to step up. But you're never going to get the warriors to step up unless somebody in that position right now opens their damn ears and listens to what they're doing to their Navy and realizes that it may affect their career, their precious pension, God forbid, their sweet corporate contractor job that they may get, right? That's going to pay them a lot of money. But how about for one instance, sir, ma'am, 07 and above, you stop thinking about yourself. And you think about the fact that if our military sucks and some other country comes in here and takes it over, none of the things I just mentioned are going to be available anyway. So you might want to start reprioritizing what's important, because that's a legacy. And every one of these people that sit in these roles, what do they care about more than money and their own accomplishments? It's their legacy, right? Because they're all narcissists. You don't do that long. It's very rare to see somebody that goes that far up that's not somewhat of a narcissist. Now, there's good levels of narcissism, and then there's extreme levels of narcissism, and I'm talking about the latter. If you want to really set your legacy in the halls of naval aviation, fix this problem, because it'll do more for the warfighter than's ever been done. Again, the email's available. Hold on, let me check. No, nothing yet.
That's why we have WOMBAT on. I don't want anybody emailing me.
Your email's right under. That's our. Do you even check that email anymore?
Do we have to talk about that now?
I don't know. Is the show over? We got some chats.
You got chats. You got a mental health minute about
Special Delivery
people
says,
doing.
I have not been as motivated to watch a show in real time since Batman 1967 in the 5th grade. I learn and laugh every week. You guys are top notch. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's the old Batman. Brian says, that's when Wombat was flying.
It was.
If I fly and they evac, I'm leaving everything. I'm sure it's gone. As a result, I'm going to get way more than it's worth.
Yeah, totally. Leave it and then lie about what's in your bag. They'll just pay out. I didn't say that. That is.
I wouldn't say that. No. Andrew says, learning how to work this. Longtime listener. I appreciate you guys doing this show. Informative and entertaining. It's Delta Smooth.
I don't know. I've never said that.
Oh, my profile pic was taken when I flew the 727.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Looks exactly like a 737.
And every other seven, anything
Yeah.
seven.
Can't tell them apart. Passion of the Wombat, says
They're
Andrew.
very passionate animals, actually.
I get all kinds of Wombat shit in my feed now.
Good.
Like
Perfect.
my Instagram
It's
feed, all
cool.
my reels are just like actual wombats. Darth Flyer
They're
says, do
adorable.
y'all know of anyone that signed the pilot bonus but now regrets signing it and can even pay it back ASAP to get out and separate? Is it possible?
Nope.
Sounds
I
very
do know plenty of
specific.
people that have taken the bonus
called
and regret it.
Devil's money.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I know a lot of people. I remember when they were given a bonus to sign up for the reserves, and it was like 10 grand for 3 years in the reserves. And for the first 2 years, you were protected from mobilizing. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second. I wasn't a math guy, but what
Yeah.
happens in that last year? And it's called Djibouti. That's what happens. You go there for a year and it sucks. So I've heard.
Very specific. Hey, real quick.
Mm.
We didn't get to talk about this last week because we had the Dos Gringos on. Joe sent me this. His father, Sergeant Joe Gaddis Jr., sergeant with the Houston PD, passed away July 15th. And he was a big fan of the show. In fact,
man.
Wombat had emailed him. I guess you guys had exchanged some emails
Mhm.
while he was in his battle. And he was very appreciative of that Wombat. So very sad to hear his passing. We're sorry for your loss, Joe, but also that he passed because sounds like he's one of the good ones.
Yeah. And hang in there, man. Like, I know it doesn't feel good, but
It sucks.
but anytime you lose anybody, it doesn't matter who. And I'm sure a parent's not exempt from this list. Like, it's tough, but they want you to hang in there. So
Yeah.
if you ever need to message or anything.
Less serious news. Actually, this is a serious one for Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man extraordinaire. He says the military during World War II pumped out thousands of pilots in World War II that fought and won and then let them go just in time for Korea to pop off. That's what struck me about the documentary is when they're talking about like what people did after, like only a handful like stayed in the military.
Kept flying and kept in.
Most of them got out and like became teachers and other stuff.
I think it was because it was a different time too. Because remember, it's one thing to join back then and fly the aircraft they were flying back then, but the amount of training and technology involved now to go hop in a Fat Amy, you know what I mean? It just takes and the whole thing is the training program is just insane. It's gotten so complex, right?
Well,
so,
dude, I mean, if we were in a war like those guys were, I mean, they probably were like, I've seen enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna die one way or another. Might as well die fighting, right?
Well, a lot of them had they didn't call it PTSD back then, but a lot of them did, and
100%.
You want to get away from it, so
yeah.
They had a place that they would send them to for R&R, and it was still called like the Flak Hotel. Like they still named it after Flak.
Flak Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy your stay.
Yeah. Hey,
Have a nice
we
day.
notice you've been troubled by all the death you've seen. Go hang out at the Flak Hotel. I don't think it was Flak something. I can't remember what it was.
Different generation, man.
Dallas says NKO was the beginning of a very bad road the pencil pushers and bean counters enacted to take our Navy to this end.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Mhm.
JD says a good leader inspires people to have confidence in the leader. A great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. Eleanor Roosevelt sums up who you are, mover, leader in my book. Oh, thanks, JD. That's more Wombat though.
No, he butchered your name, not mine.
Tom says Wombat broke out the dad voice again, and as usual, we were all ears.
It just pisses me off, man. It just pisses me off because they ruined such a good thing.
Yeah, dude. I know.
And they're ruining it more. That's the thing. Like, it wasn't like
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed since we left. Like, yeah. Which is
It's
sad.
gotten worse.
Dallas says mic drop Wombat.
It's so sad.
Well, let's see. Do we want to talk about any other topics like the Blue Angels try to kill the cat, or the aliens, or the 3 Delta stories?
Oh, dude.
Save the mental health minute for next week.
No, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that. The people from minute 1, they said to you told them. The people.
All right,
wanted to
dude. Let's do
know.
the mental health minute. We'll call it a night. It is a bit. Listen, it'll be therapeutic for you.
can't
Go
keep
ahead.
this, dude. Okay. Well, I'm an idiot. All right. That's all there is. to
All
it.
right, great show.
Period.
That's the whole story. So, yeah, I'm an idiot. Some people, they walk out of the bathroom, leave their fly down, accidentally scratch their car, hit a curb, whatever. I, on the other hand, did none of these things. Well, I mean, I've done a couple of them, but not recently. So last week, I had just gotten back. Wombat, you'll like this. I was at the detailer with my Yukon, right? Because finally had an opportunity to go take, because there were some bubbles in the paint protection or whatever, and I was like, I want it to be, I want it to be nice. It's a nice Yukon. I just got it, the AT4, and I get home and I park it in the garage, and I'm like, I gotta put def in the damn thing. All right, I'll do that real fast, and have it closed up in the garage. Rain's coming, it'll be tucked away. Everything's gonna be perfect. I go and I pull the 2.5 gallon thing of def and start messing with the crinkly like hose that it comes with, and it disconnects and reconnects. Open the thing and I drop it, put it back on the ground, pick it up. But I already taken the cap off the def tank, and I just mindlessly stick it in and start pouring it in. And I'm like, why is it taking so long? Oh my God. I have put the def in the diesel. And so, as those of you that don't know, which I found out, I didn't start it. I knew it was bad when it happened. I didn't start it, but that doesn't seem to matter, because the fix for it is to go to the dealership. I got it towed to the dealer. And the fix for it is that they have to drain the tank and replace the fuel pump, because that stuff crystallizes. And I'm hoping that's the extent of it, since it didn't run, but I'll find that out tomorrow, because they had to overnight the pump. We're into the 4 digits now for as far as how much this is costing. Obviously none of it's under warranty, which rightfully so it shouldn't be. It's an unforced error. And I have been beating myself up about it, and Gonky's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I actually had one friend, she said, I wouldn't tell people this story if I were you. She's like, I don't know anything about cars, but I wouldn't tell other guys this. And I'm like, yeah.
And you thought, let's go on a YouTube.
I said, why not I tell 1,200 people?
We've all got a story like that related to a car.
The moral of the story is unforced errors, because I think no matter how experienced you are, or how with age probably makes it worse. We got cat shot. I caught Gonky's cat shot brain, but sometimes you're going to make unforced errors. You're going to do something that you're like, God, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? And I think it goes back to forgiving yourself, which I have yet to do in this story. So I'm still right in the middle of it. Probably be easier once I finally get it back in the garage and I'm not waiting for a phone call of how much more it's going to cost. Because every time I call them, it gets more expensive.
Stop calling.
Yeah. Well, they don't call me. I call them, and that's how I know it's bad. But I think from the mental health perspective, you know, you can sit there and you can sulk over it and, you know, kick yourself or whatever, but it ends up not being very productive. You know, you end up wasting a whole lot of time being hard on yourself, and whether or not people think you're an idiot or not doesn't really matter, because the reality is what happened, and you just move on and you know, go about your day. But it's nice to have friends that do tell you, hey, it's going to be okay. And if you don't have that, you know, sometimes you might need to go talk to a counselor or something, or 988 or whatever. But, you know, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And the only way through it is just to learn from it. Gonky and I were talking about this today. I've got a roll of painter's tape that is now going to find its way over that tank every time I refill the def, which, by the way, thanks, George Bush. Because really, this is stupid. Like, why do I have to have def? That's dumb. Gonky, your thoughts or your mental health? I don't know. Just talk.
Well, my thoughts are that's why I drive a 2004 diesel. There is no def.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason.
It
has nothing to do with you being a cheap, poor pilot. It has nothing to do with that.
Shots fired. Jesus.
But continue.
Even
sometimes your best friends are your best friends. You know what I mean?
Even if you have had all the money in the world, I'd still be driving my exact same.
I believe that.
Because I just like to put the key in it and go, and it has over 300,000 miles, and she just keeps going. Mover, to the mental health side of Unforced Errors, you know, you talk about making mistakes and forgiving yourself, and like this weekend, you know, at church, I heard a super powerful testimony from one of the guys, and you know, if you met him and saw him, you would never think his past was as jacked up as it was. And he said, while he was telling his testimony, his words were, you know, don't let your past define your future. Which that's pretty heavy and broad, but you know, if you can just break that down into everyday things, right? I mean, we're people, we're going to do things, we're going to make mistakes, and you just can't dwell on it. I mean, they teach you, you know, they teach you when you're flying fast jets, like, dude, you actually don't have time to dwell on the thing you just screwed up, because if you do, guess what? The next thing in front of you just screwed that up too. So it's a fast moving ball game. You got to keep your eyes ahead and keep moving. So, you know, perspective helps a little bit too. You know, yes, it's going to sting a little, because I probably will make fun of you for a while. And it will probably sting the pocketbook a little bit, but at the end of the day,
a lot,
but
can't buy Airwolf helmet. Go on. Sorry.
But at the end of the day, it affects movers' overall quality of life in life very, very, very little. So, and we're all, you know, or at least, you know, we're lucky to live here in the United States, I think, which is the greatest country in the world. I'm biased, but a little bit of perspective helps when you're dealing with something like, you know, gosh, I just can't believe I did that. And I have a long list of those stories, and sure, I'll blame it on Cat Shop Marine, but at the end of the day, I just make mistakes, man. And you know, we joke about the tape, but hey, you know what? You got to do what
That's not a joke, dude. I've got tape. Look, right here.
I know.
You know why this is taped? Because I don't want to stick this in the 5.56. This 300 blackout.
Yes, exactly, dude. Yes.
Painter's tape saves.
Listen, I use that exact painter tape to tape over the switch in my motorhome to retract the steps, because it's right next to the light switch, the first light switch when you walk in. So at night, when you're getting out of it and you turn the lights off before you step out, you might accidentally retract the steps and catch a face full of dirt, which is what happened to my mother-in-law. So, dude, yes, right. We learn from our mistakes and we move on. And some of those mistakes could be really big. Some of them could be small and kind of funny, like we're talking about. But like at the end of the day, like you said, man, hey, if you're struggling with stuff in the past, if you need to get help, go get help. There's a lot of resources out there. Take advantage of it. Wombat, what do you got? Did you already talk? I can't remember.
Well, no, you would know the show. No, I agree. That's a bummer mover. Like that. I have not put death in a diesel in the wrong tank before, but I had a Harley that when my current wife and I were dating in Lemoore, we stopped for gas and the pump was screwed up, and not at the pump, but below the lines. And it put diesel in the Harley. And I could tell you, and I rode home that way. And here's the bottom line. Guess what? They fixed it. Everything's fixable, right? I mean, does it cost money? Sure. But it's all fixable, right? Everything that's got a part, when we do stuff around the house here, or when I'm looking at like we were discussing this garage and the layouts and the things like that. And I started getting overwhelmed because I'm like, dude, this is a huge, huge project that I got to make sure that everything's perfect. And it's like, well, no, you don't. Because right now there's no garage. So they're going to start from nothing and create something, which means that if they create something and it's not the way you want it, it can be uncreated and fixed. So in this thing, it could be fixed, right? The problem is your mind wasn't on it. You had other things going on, I'm sure, right? And some of that just comes with life. You can only combat so much of that. I try to stay very organized in my life, very clutter-free. But I mean, life is life, right? I mean, there's times where I've been halfway to work and realized I don't have the correct uniform parts and I need to turn around because it's not going to look good, or I don't have my ID. I mean, that's just part of life. You just can't, when these things happen, and they will happen, you just can't be your own worst enemy, right? Because I think that is really where the man or woman is defined, right? Like I don't actually care how things happen to somebody during the adversity, insert whatever adversity that is. I care how they react after, right? And you've learned, and you're doing it. That's why you are talking about it, because you're laughing about it now and you realize it was dumb and it's going to cost you money. But hey, you're blessed that you make money, right? So that helps. There's a lot of people in the world that don't make the money that would be able to handle this repair, right? And it would set them back, or they'd be on a credit card and it would spiral their finances. You're going to be okay. It's going to hurt. You can't buy an Airwolf helmet, probably. Is that better for your mental health? You not buying an Airwolf helmet is frankly probably better for my mental health, but that's a whole nother story. So
gonna hate.
The point is, it's how you react to it after. And it was stupid, and your reaction is, yeah, that was dumb. I'm gonna lick my wounds. I'm gonna use it for good. I'm gonna let other people out there in the interwebs understand that, hey, everybody's going through stuff. Everybody makes mistakes. Let's use this for good and turn it into something positive. And that's what you're doing. So don't be your own worst enemy.
Doug.
I'm of two minds on this one. One of them is that's how we get SOPs. The other one is that it's a good lesson in mindfulness, because you were probably not thinking about it as an important task at the time. And then it turns out it has consequences. And sometimes we just kind of have to stay in the moment as much as we can in case that turns out that way. But then when it does, you can't beat yourself up about it. I really got a kick out of it when you said, I hate to be this sexist, but you said a female friend said, don't tell this to anybody. And I was like, guys are like, oh man, that's nothing. I got one way worse.
Like, I wouldn't tell anybody the story. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but I wouldn't tell anybody that story.
Yeah.
I dumped ATF in a crankcase one time and still had 7 hours to drive. So off I went.
Luna, it means no more treats, girl. We can't afford it for a little while.
Now, Luna got tons of money tonight. Don't put your finances together. She's doing just fine. She's like, don't bring me down. She's like, I'm not the one who put the def in there, dummy. It'll get fixed, man. It is what
I was supposed to be fixed today, but part didn't come in, which just gives them more time to find stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to take my chance to one up Gonky too. My diesel pickup is a 94.
Nice. They run forever.
So far.
But hey, my potato internet, I talked to them today. It's going to be fixed August 9th.
Oh, right around the corner.
So we've got a appointment for where we can finally run 1080p again.
Nice.
In case anybody
Perfect. Back to high def.
James says, hey guys, I'm a 31-year-old bachelor homeowner who also owns a Jeep Cherokee and GMT minus 800 Gen Sierra. I work at a local mill. I feel like I was meant for more. What should I do?
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What do you
Don't sell
enjoy?
that Cherokee.
Yeah, it's a nice Cherokee. What do you enjoy? That's what I would say. Like,
that a
because
trench
it's not
coat?
our dream, right? It's your dream. So what I would say is when you're that bachelor homeowner sitting there by yourself and you shut off everything around you, social media, TV, phones, everything, what do you think about? That's where you start figuring out what you should do.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I have no
Yeah.
good advice.
And
for
don't
this.
put death in that Jeep Cherokee because it's not meant for it.
Hey, James, and I'm still trying to actually figure out what I'm doing as well. So don't feel bad.
What is
So in
like, what are
Gonky's
you-
defense, we're also trying to figure out what Gonky's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it sounds
Very
like
good.
you got your like. If this were Dave Ramsey, he'd be like,
Yeah, but that's financially. You're thinking financially, right? Life's not
well,
all
what
about-
else? What else do we have? What can we?
You can
No,
help
I'm-
people. You could follow your dreams.
Yeah, dude,
you
yeah.
could start a family. You could get a dog.
Yeah.
You could start a YouTube channel and compete.
Keep
with this
searching,
one.
man.
I
Keep
feel
searching.
attacked. Andrew says no. We need the mental health minute. Mhm. Crazy Pete says, Mover, if that's your dumbest move, you're doing much better than most of us. Unfortunately, that is not. And it's just the latest. the issue is not, it's the dumbest. It's just the dumbest
Today.
recently.
Recently.
Yes.
in the
We'll give
last
it a we'll
week.
give it a week.
Give it a week. I'll do something dumber. Oh, dude. JD will love the cop stuff I've done. Just dumb. One time I had the retractable keys and I closed the door. My FTO loves this story because I was in FTO doing this traffic stop and I had the retractable thing for the key, you know, because we used to have the old Crown Vics that didn't have clickers. So it was a key. And when I closed the door, the key got caught in the door and the door was locked. But I didn't know it. So I got to the end of the retractable reel and it bungeed me back as I'm trying to go. Dude, he was just dying laughing. And I couldn't get back. He had the key, so he wouldn't let me back in. I'm just stuck at this. Like, what are you going to do?
That's funny.
You're solo on a traffic stop. What are you going to do? What's this? So,
Like I quit.
I'm doing this for free, sir. Unlock the door before I go home. JD also says an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. JFK. As long as you don't repeat the error, we all got to get to learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
Now,
we'll see.
if in 2 weeks
yeah,
we have another mental health minute, and it's because
Yeah.
you put death,
yeah.
then sell the car.
It's you again, isn't it?
It's
You
not meant
need
to be you.
a Prius.
We already have the parts list.
Andrew says, spilled milk, bro. Swift kick your butt in gear and move on. Mistakes and accidents happen. Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody got hurt, and you were smart enough to catch it before you started it, which is huge.
The problem I'm hoping I didn't run into is I think every time it applies power, it primes the pump.
Yeah, but that would just so it's a pump. I mean, you didn't
Oh,
run that
they do have to.
through.
We're replacing the pump. Yes, it didn't go through the engine. I never ran the
So
thing.
that's huge.
Joe says, I feel your pain. The first time I put a piston in a bike, age 15, laser focused on putting it in right, only to put it in backwards. Never again. Gonky, have you done that? You're nodding like you.
I could know, but I could see how that could
Oh, 100%.
I put
And they don't work as well that way.
I put the power valve in wrong when I was in high school because I was in a hurry because I had a race on my 125 race bike, and it was the smoothest running, slowest 125 ever because the exhaust port would never open all the way, and so it's choking it. And I'm like, what is wrong with this thing?
Nice.
So yeah, I feel your pain.
I put carb slides in upside down one time in my
Yeah.
buddy's bike,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's been 45 years. He's never let me forget it.
See, mover.
You have 45 years of this
Yeah.
times the
Spectre.
internet.
Nice. Small contribution to Airwolf helmet. Gentlemen,
Nice.
thank you for your service. Wombat got the coins. They're great. Go check them out, everyone. Shameless plug.
There's one more. There's one more vintage, and they're gone. I think there's one more. Don't quote me on that, actually.
Holly Movie Star says, why did I hear Lester's voice? 3G's top of T's. I don't know. No. Lisa Jones says, thank you, Mover, Gonky, Wombat, and Doug for another great show.
You're welcome. That's awesome.
Lisa's given up on us. It's bedtime. Holly Movie Star says, my mess up is a tire falling off going down the road.
That'll get you. That's going to leave a mark.
You probably get suspended at least one race, or your crew chief will. Wayne P says for Movers Tape Fund. Great show, guys, as always. Thanks for the insight, Wombat and Gonky.
Awesome.
Oh, here we go. If I was honest, I want to join the Air Force, learn how to work on F-15s or learn Japanese and work with the U.S. Embassy. I'm too old or am I educated enough to become an F-15 Wizzo? Well, then do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah,
There's
go
nothing wrong
guard.
with those.
Go guard.
No, exactly.
Did he change his avatar? This isn't the same dude.
No.
I thought it
Douglas,
was, so I
are you,
grabbed it.
I thought it
are you
was,
bamboozling us?
Yeah.
There was a
like
man in a trench coat with a Cherokee earlier.
That could be a Jeep.
I looked at the picture and thought that was the Cherokee.
Right.
No,
That's what I'm
from the
thinking.
front.
That's a different dude.
Oh, man.
We're just giving advice to anybody now.
Yeah, for free. In that case, go be
Yeah.
a Wizzo.
Good job. Yeah. Have you ever heard of code switching?
No.
No.
Doug and I talked about this because people were commenting on my Luna video that I suddenly picked up more of a Southern accent. And it's because when I'm talking to Southern Meemaws, I start talking like them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
My
called
sister
code,
did that.
It's called code switching.
Yeah. My sister did that. She grew up in New Jersey and then went to Coast Guard boot camp and picked up a Southern accent, which is funny because Coast Guard boot camp is in Cape May, New Jersey.
Was it a roommate at Southern?
I have no idea, dude. It's people, but people do it. I've never done it. Everybody's like, "You're from New Jersey and went to Texas. You don't sound like either." I'm like, sorry, I am who I am, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, this show has gone on way too long.
hold on, let's see if the Admiral's gotten back to me. I'm sure he's on it.
Penny Benjamin.
No, still no
What's this,
emails.
Doug?
That's weird.
Oh, that's the Blue Angels.
Who's this flight attendant?
Oh, dude. All right. It's
See, that's how
time,
you know
Mover.
it.
It's
Mover
time.
after dark. See, you
Mover.
can't keep me 2 hours and 40 minutes. Things start happening.
It's almost time for Mover's after hour show to start on his other channel.
I mean, the only mover starts in 15 minutes.
To pay
All
for
right.
the AT4.
Gotta pay for the. Actually, I have to pay them. It goes the other way. I lose more money. Okay, well, thank you for your service.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
John says if I were your FTO, your new nickname would be Bungie.
Perfect.
I did a lot of things. Okay, good night.
It happens.
See you guys. Have a good
Goodbye.
night.
Yeah.